Hello and welcome to Revamped, a rewatch podcast covering my all-time favorite shows and movies. I'm your host, Brandon Alexander.
And I'm your co-host, Courtney Autumn.
Together, we've been journeying through Buffy the Vampire Slayer, patrolling the streets of Sunnydale, but now our path expands beyond the Hellmouth as we continue to follow Buffy's battles and growth.
We also step into the shadowy streets of Los Angeles to join Angel on his quest for redemption and his fight to discover what it truly means to be a champion.
Venture with us through every episode in order as we experience the story from two perspectives, Courtney's first time watch and my seasoned rewatch, doubling down on the themes and moments that shape the Buffyverse.
We'll examine pivotal choices, major story arcs, and explore the deeper layers of each show's continued character growth and development.
All while engaging in conversations and sharing our own authentic thoughts and feelings to what's unfolding before us.
So sharpen your stakes, ready your swords,
and continue to stand with us against the forces of darkness as we journey through the supernatural worlds of Buffy the Vampire Slayer
and Angel.
Let's get into this episode. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Revamped. Today we are returning with our Buffy the Vampire Slayer show. That's not how I'm going to say that. Today we are returning with our next episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Season 4, Episode 4.
Fear Itself.
Aired originally October 26, 1999, written by David Fury and directed by Tucker Gates. I've not seen Tucker on the list of directors before, I don't think, just to say. As soon as I saw Tucker, though, I thought Tucker from the prom episode, and I was like, not so much. This episode title is a reference to the famous quote, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself," attributed to Franklin D. Roosevelt. I didn't realize that ever. Going into it, I was just like, it makes sense. But I saw that today, so I was like, I'm going to say it now. Anywho, everyone, Tyler's back with us today.
Hello, hello, hello. So happy to be here.
Hold on. Literally, though, I gotta key you in the right way. Listen. I had that as a moment.
Oh, you've caught it. You've caught it.
I don't know. How long have you been doing that?
So it was about I don't know. It's probably been a little like a month now, maybe like 3 weeks. Basically, I was like, I need something to happen to make people want to be there right at the beginning and not ever talk about it. And so it's kind of cut on.
Not ever talk about it is crazy. Okay, so we're gonna talk about it for 2 seconds. So I'm like sitting around last night and I'm doing fumbly stuff. I was making a couple edits that I didn't really need sound for and stuff, and trying to just like do some things on the computer, doing laundry, and I was like, what am I gonna watch? So I get on YouTube and the first thing that comes up is like your most previous live stream, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch that. I'll put that on the background because that's perfect background noise. I can watch Tyler play a game. I tune in, he'll probably die 700 times, so I can like feed that on my loop. It'll be great. But whenever I played it, I'm like waiting for the countdown because I skipped like 3 minutes into your countdown, so I was like 2 minutes, so I was running around doing a couple other things, and like finally it came in, and then that music cued in, and I hadn't been there on the last few live streams to see that was a thing now. So I'm like, what is this music? And I come back here and I'm up in here like dancing through my bedroom and shit. I was like, what is happening? But I was here for it. And Courtney, I'm gonna send you the recording of him doing this. Like, it was like a whole like minute and a half fucking like him dancing, him looking like the Christina Aguilera, like that's an inside joke for her, but I was here for it.
Sometimes we got a good twerk going. Sometimes hats involved. You know, it's
I was dead. Like, I was like, how did he? Is it like it's not pre-recorded at all, is it?
So it's filters that are on like a live coded recording of like when the screen switches.
Okay.
Over. It took a little bit to set up.
Okay. I was like, how is this happening? Because it looked like it happened in real time. Because then obviously when it went away and you just came back, you were like, hey bitches. And I'm like, oh.
Anyway, no, it's different every time. Tune in to my streams.
I try to whenever I can. I mean, obviously, I still get to see them whenever I like go back and watch them. I told you before that a lot of times I end up going back and rewatching them because I'm either not home or whatever. It's usually Mondays or something. I think you live stream. So
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, baby.
Exactly. Either way, last time you were with us, I think was in season 3 for Bad Girls. And obviously, originally you joined us for the Halloween episode in season 2 for your very first recording with us. And we kind of said then, I don't remember if that was in the messages right there after or during that recording. We were like, you should come back and do every Halloween episode with us, because we were all like, jacking off to fucking Halloween that episode. We're like, we love Halloween. We love pumpkins. We love costumes. Like, queer people always love Halloween. Most people do in general, but gay people really amp it up. But either way, here we are again. I was going to ask, like, what you've been up to. Like, I was going to also say, how are the cats? But we got one Marvin the Martian hanging behind you with us. So, which was funny because I told him the last time, I was like, make sure the cats are there for the next recording. He's like, oh, I will.
I mean, look at him. He's like, he definitely understands the assignment.
He does. He's bringing a whole vibe.
But listen, we can't have Halloween without the black cat. And so this is literally perfect. But either way, how are you doing? What are you up to?
Honestly, just living, working, loving life, surviving. Nothing too crazy. Live streaming, working, hanging with friends, having a good time, twerking, planning a wedding. I'm getting married, so I don't know if that was said last time, but yeah. So
you got engaged. I was gonna say, how's the man's? Obviously,
got engaged. Yes, he's great. He's doing wonderful, and getting married in 2027. So we got a little bit before we get there.
So me and Courtney don't like New York at all, but are we expecting invitations to the wedding? Or
we don't lead. I like how you lead with that. You're like, basically send us an invite, but don't.
What in the words of 𝐤𝐸, I welcome the mystery.
Yes, absolutely. No, for real. That was my way of inviting myself. If not, I'm showing up. So it is.
Sure. Either way, we're there.
He's like, it's only family. There's actually supposed to be no.
We are family now.
Oh. Wait, speaking of the prom, we are family. Oz is gonna tear up. Okay, anyways, all the silly goofies out the way. Obviously, for like a second, with the news of the Buffy show cancellation, which I'm not gonna really get into, as I kind of said coming in here. I'm still pretending that didn't happen. Maybe we'll see what happens in the future with that. Yeah, right now, like, if anything, I'm kind of happy because now me and Courtney don't have to continue another year or so after we finish the podcast in 5 years to do more. So we'll see how that happens. Maybe
has it been over a year since you guys started?
We started in fall of 2024, so this fall will be 2 years that we've been podcasting already.
Wow,
which is insane because after this year is over, we've completed 5 seasons of the Buffyverse shows.
Whoa, that's
because we'll have finished Angel season 1 and Buffy season 4. It's like insane, but that being said, this week we also got the news of Nicholas Brendan passing, and this is the first recording that we've done since that happened. So I kind of wanted to take a moment to have a little tribute for him today. I say that because like it came as like a slap in the face to me whenever me and Courtney finished recording what was it, Angel's episode in the dark, and as soon as I got off the recording, I opened up a few notifications and they were all from Instagram initially, and the first thing I saw was Nicholas Brendan's face and like his birth year and death year or whatever, the date thing, and that just immediately makes you go, oh fuck. And then I read into it and I was like, damn, a wave of emotions came over me because I'm not going to say other names, but there's like people that have passed and stuff that I'm just like about in life, whether I know them or don't know them and stuff like that. It's up to your own interpretation and how you are with people, to how you feel about their passing and stuff. But typically I always try to honor somebody, especially whether they have like a good, like, I don't know, you have good memories and bad memories with people sometimes, and sometimes the good ones outweigh the bad. And to me, it feels like kind of like we lost a family member, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because he was a part of this show, my favorite show, our favorite show, and he's gone now. So like watching the show is going to be very different from now on moving forward, especially since we have so much more to cover, which is going to be very interesting. And a handful of time has passed too since his passing by the time this airs as well, because we're ahead in recording. So people are going to be like, wow, y'all so late. But like, girl, we right on time. Like, like I did want to take a moment more than anything though to like hold a moment of silence before getting into the episode, just to like kind of share the joy of his acting, like his presence, like for our Scooby Gang friend, Xander Harris, that is on the show. Everyone, if you're open, like just take a nice long deep breath into your diaphragm and kind of hold that breath for a moment and then let it out. You can do that on your own time in this moment. We'll collectively kind of like woosah together. That's just a moment for release and stuff like that. So if y'all been feeling the weight for like the Buffy cancellation and then like getting paired with this, I know plenty of people that like didn't really care for Xander that have been crying this week. And just like I said, it's like we lost a family member. So our breath is in memory of Nicholas Brendan. He's our chosen family, regardless of what he did on the show, what he's done in his personal life and stuff. Anytime I go back and watch this, like, I'm always going to remember the times that Xander made me laugh, Xander made me cringe. I got to share the experience, like, along with him, watching a few Buffy episodes, as we talked about in the past, back in 2019. So I've physically met him before, and he was nothing but gracious and kind and polite to my boyfriend at the time, to me, to my sister, to everyone in the room with us. Like, he wasn't skeezy or weird or doing any of his bullshit. Like, he wasn't drunk. You know what I mean? Like, it was a portal of time. I think I got the last little wave of him whenever he was in like a decent spot in his life, even though he had done some shifty things and stuff. But I'm happy to have gotten that experience and whatnot as well. So if anything, is I'm kind of just like I said, reminded of like the times on the show, like he had good moments. And I always said in the beginning, because even when we've been talking about Xander like kick his ass and him pissing us off or doing things like misogynistically, or how he's written as a character, which is very relative to actual people out in the world, boys can relate to him and resonate with him, and like how they acted in high school, it's a whole thing. But to like take the 2 seconds to say, no matter what, I never wanted to exclude him from the show, no matter how skeezy he gets sometimes, he's always a part of it. So I'm gonna hold that true and like continue that moving forward, you know, if anything. I don't know how to say this. I've never had to do this before. Like, y'all should have heard me whenever I gave a freaking speech. I was the only one at my sister's funeral trying to get up there and talk about like my memories with her. Things like, it's so weird to do in the moment. You know what I mean? You never know what you want to say. You're like, did I say too little? Did I say too much? I think at this point I've kind of said just enough just to say. But yeah, I want to dedicate the episode, this one specifically, to him. And in one where he feels like he's not being seen, I want to say that you were always seen by us all. So I feel like that's a fun way to leave it, you know? Like, watching it, like adding notes in, I was about to cry because I was like, oh, he feels invisible. It kind of like is relative to how he felt in life. Because I mean, all these other actors and actresses from Buffy, they still kind of pair up and get together. And he was kind of excluded from the 20th anniversary or whatever it was. He wouldn't be allowed on set because him and David Boreanaz was having like drama. David Boreanaz even made a really beautiful post about him the other day, and I like fell into tears again. And like Sarah and Alice and all the interview stuff that's coming up because all the press from Ready or Not 2 is going on. So Sarah's like in the limelight right now, and like what a time for everything to be going on and just have like a chance to share your voice, you know. Who the fuck just sneezed?
Bless you.
That's DJ. He sneezes really loud. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? That's the moment that we can just say, all right.
That's Tyler's version. That's Tyler's version of the cat feeder.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
Y'all goes out. No, it's okay.
We need
sneeze if you need to sneeze.
We're gonna have to bring him on for an episode that Tyler did with us in the future, or for our final Halloween recording. He's gonna have to watch the episode and cover.
Oh my god!
Fun fact: when I watched it with TJ for the first time, this was his favorite episode in terms of like vibe and like what Buffy is. He loves this one.
Oh, sweet! I love that.
Oh, nice.
He got an interesting one to step into as well, which also returning to, because I know you made him watch the whole series initially, anyways.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Anyways, guest starring this episode, we have Mark Rose as Josh, Walter Emmanuel Jones as Edward. Not to go like on a full tangent of like saying what these people's credentials are, but if you noticed him and don't remember what you noticed him from, he was the Black Power Ranger from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers original run, right?
Wow.
That bitch, yeah.
What are the Power Rangers? I'm too young. I'm just kidding.
Okay, boys, stop. And then we have Adam Bitterman as Gaknar, which I thought it was funny. Like, his last name is Bitterman. Like, he was totally bitter in this episode as a character because he's trying to like get released, and this whole thing. I love it. I can't wait to talk about the very, very end, because Courtney was texting me a little bit while she was watching. She's like, "The fuck?"
So funny.
All right. In this episode, on Halloween, Buffy heads to a college frat party with Willow, Oz, and Xander, hopeful that the night will stay normal. Instead, the house locks down and the party takes a dark turn as the decorations and frights inside become all too real, leaving everyone trapped for a night that plays on their worst fears. All right, we're here. We're queer. We're ready to fear. Look at that. I didn't even write that down, you guys. So just to say, like I said, I didn't open the notes because I'm slack this week. I like what I originally wrote, the 3 sentences. Everyone's fears are interesting this time around because we've kind of had the visitation to Fear World before in Nightmares in season 1. And pertaining to what they're physically going through, emotionally going through, spiritually going through right now versus the ones that we saw in Nightmares, like when Billy was making everyone's fears come to life, like no matter what they were, these ones are tied to now versus like back then you were kind of seeing like, Willow's afraid to sing or like, Xander's afraid of clowns. We don't get that kind of shit. We get like what's actually going on, what's deeper as a take right this time around. So I thought that was really cool watching it back through, noticing we're dealing with what's relative at this time. This episode is also where I find that I start to really like Anya because now we're seeing her a little bit more. She's becoming familiarized on the show, which you usually don't expect. I'm assuming you were surprised, Courtney, to kind of see Anya again here, even though she had her moment with Xander last episode. Like they're working her back in a little bit, so we maybe can expect to have her. But this is like where like I wrote my notes physically, like she grows on you because she's funny. Like this whole episode, she kind of like helps save the day in a way, like it's whole thing. And then I have to obsess over the fact that it's just Halloween. We all talked about it the last time we did a Halloween episode. We all love Halloween. And technically, this is the last Halloween of 1999. So, like, this is the last 90s Halloween that we see represented on TV. I mean, like, not ever, but on Buffy specifically. And, like, decor and things like that start to shift and change. And they're not as, from what I've seen looking, because obviously I'm looking at everybody's decorations. Like, when they're in the house walking around the halls, I'm looking and checking out everything. The decor is still very similar to the 90s, but it's not as hardcore as like the last time we watched it. Like when we saw Ethan's shop and some of the little like stuff that he had in there, this was a little bit gassed up, but it's not like the way cheesy decorations are done now, or like people that just put blow ups in their fucking yard and shit. I'm just like, that's not Halloween to me. I need twinkling lights and spider webs and like some people do it right. I need to go find a vintage website to like buy 90s merchandise from Halloween decor back then. Because like
people are like eBay.
Well, even like Giles's little Frankenstein that he turns on is it's alive.
Oh,
like,
yes?
They don't make and it playing like the music like that doesn't happen anymore. It's all like if anything, like I think my sister had a big blow up or no, it wasn't a blow up. He was like a mannequin thing, but it's like huge, and he's like got a DJ set, and you can hook it up to your Bluetooth and play whatever song, and he like will zip, zip, zip on the thing and like listen with his headphones and like he's like a big skeleton dude with like a Grim Reaper like scythe and shit.
So cool.
It is cool, but like you didn't see that shit in the 90s. We didn't even know what Bluetooth was in the 90s. So
could you imagine? No.
So, but either way, like I was saying, I was eating up the stuff. I was like, I want to go to this party because it sounds really cool too. Like the whole, you come in, go through the house, eventually make your way to where the actual party is taking place up in the attic and shit like that. Super cool. Like I don't know. This episode kind of has it all, and it's fun for a storyline too. Because I was saying to Courtney last night, it is a filler episode. It's nothing majorly is going on. I mean, we get a little bit of character development, little stuff there, but like there's nothing for the overall arc going on yet. We're still in the beginning of the season, but we're also seeing like how Buffy's still navigating challenges and changes, how she's not getting the fuck over Parker. Which fun time to come in, Tyler, while we're still in this Parker mess because we just are fresh coming off last Buffy episode with this, literally us all that episode.
Fuck Parker.
Yes,
literally.
Thank you. But I don't know. The whole thing is a vibe. What did you think of the episode, Courtney?
Oh, same, like total opinion as yours. Any Halloween episode I think of any show is fun for me, but especially Buffy, I've noticed, just because they throw so many different layers and elements, and it's usually a bunch of chaos is going on, and everyone has like their moment of individual problems, I guess, and then they have their collective issue. And I like how Giles always comes in as a point of neutralizing the energy in a way that gives you hope. Like, okay, at least Giles is like gonna maybe save the day kind of vibe. But I also appreciated that they took Giles into the Halloween spirit because I wasn't expecting that at all. And that was a really, really fun part for me. But yeah, I thought this episode was fun, just like I did with the other Halloween episode that Tyler joined us for. And the psychological fear was a new way of putting fear into this episode and them facing their fear, and that being on brand for Halloween, especially it being in the way that it was worked into the haunted house experience and all of that. So I like how they mirrored everything like they always do, and it was fun as much as it was chaotic as usual. So good episode overall.
It's a nice experience probably for you too, coming off like how are they going to do Halloween this time? Because the last time they got turned into their costumes, which
Yes.
was very on par for like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like a Monster of the Week situation done by a spell. And this time we do get the regurgitation of its like spell work that causes bullshit to happen. And it's always going to happen in Sunnydale. Like they think they're going to go to some college frat party and like have fun and have a normal night. Nope.
No.
And it's all because some stupid little boy want to open up a book that he found and just willy-nilly write some shit on the floor.
I mean, the nerve. I don't know why you would think that's a good idea.
And it would have been fine though, actually, just being painted on the floor. But then we have the whole situation of what actually brought it to
You're
which
right.
we'll get to when we get to it, which is
But
interesting.
I don't know. I'm a little superstitious because I'm like, we're already like going all the way out for this haunted maze leading to the party. And like you said, that's such a good idea. Like I kind of want to do that now one year for Halloween. Like we need to rent a big ass house and do that.
Yeah, because we do not have that ourselves.
No, fuck no. But I feel like you're already making it extra spooky and scary to enhance the Halloweenness of it all. And then to go in and like find it necessary to pull out an actual book that's obviously like a textbook. It's not a picture book of symbols, you know, like it's obviously has some sort of meaning to it.
Well, the one
And
dude
you're
says he
just like,
reads it.
oh, hey, yeah, you're just like, hey, let's put the symbol on the floor. I'm like, I don't, in any place that's, I don't know, I'm just too superstitious. That's like the people who want to go into an actual haunted house and they're like, let's take the Ouija board and the ghost detecting equipment. Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, if you're here for it, I'm fine, but don't come looking at me when you've like taken a spirit home and your shit's haunted now. Like, I'm not coming over anymore.
That shit makes me think of that one dude that goes in the bandos and plays the music for the ghosts.
Oh yeah.
He's like, you guys, you ever heard of Rihanna? And he's like playing We Found Love or like Only Girl in the World or whatever it was for like the ghost and the thing. And he's like booming and bass. And I'm like, boy, them things about to cut you up. Like, what the fuck you doing?
He's screaming too. He's like, spirits. And I'm just like, oh my God.
I love how Tyler's like, yep, I saw him.
Oh, I know exactly.
That dude went so viral. It was crazy.
All right, Tyler, what are your thoughts on the episode, originally / today watching?
Okay, so originally, very funny, when I first saw this episode and I was quite the youngin', it scared the shit out of me. This was like one of those episodes when I was a child that like, I don't know what it was. The skeleton was scary, the head with the, I also was scared of everything when I was young, which is...
I can see you.
Yes, like I remember being traumatized because I also remember that my mom was very particular about which episode she would allow me to see at this point, because especially with like Buffy
Not
and
let you see this one.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh yeah, like this is gonna be like the Halloween, like it'll be fun and it'll be fine." But oh my God, there's so many things that are like trapped in my brain. Like this episode of Buffy and like watching Poltergeist for the first time are like in the same realm of like scaring
Sure,
me.
sure. Yeah, Poltergeist scared me when I was little.
So
but
good.
Never this.
Yeah, so funny. I don't know what it was about this. This just scared me. I was young. I don't know. Watching it now is just. It's just awesome. I really think that it like if you could pick like one episode to show people to be like, this is the vibe of the show, I think this is like a perfect one. And I think it's even better than like the other Halloween episode in terms of tapping into the psychological horrors of the characters, where it's like, yeah, we're doing something really cheesy and silly and all the Halloween decorations are coming alive, ha 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 ha, but we're also dealing with these deeper things, which obviously, you know, is what Buffy excels at. So
sure.
Yeah, I just think I love so many moments in this are very iconic to me in terms of the vibe of what Buffy is.
I like how you bring up too, which I totally forgot because, like I said, I didn't write my opening thoughts, and I was just like I can wing it.
Slacker.
Left something out though. Like I know, right? Slap me, bitch. Ooh. Anyways, this is my favorite of the 3 Halloween episodes that we get. I will say, like I like the energy of like I love what happens in the original one just because of turning into a costume is a fun concept. I'd never really thought of that before, except for like Carly Beth over on Goosebumps and stuff, turning into the mask like she put on and shit. Like that's true horror to me. So that was kind of scary. Like, how do you operate? We talked about it then, but like this one is just like good old fun with Halloween, and like it has the haunted house aspect, which we didn't have before. It's like true Halloween. Whereas the next one, it's like, yeah, it's Halloween and stuff like that, but it's like a fun night of fun frights and stuff, but it's kind of centered around a character versus everybody being inclusive to enjoying the holiday spirit together as we see it in these first 2 episodes. Spoiler, more of a breadcrumb for Courtney because it's not really a spoiler, but she's like, who is this character? We'll see. But yeah, I wrote down to ask you guys, I don't know if you really paid attention too crazily. Obviously, Tyler's probably seen this episode like me 700,000 times, but Courtney's only seen it the once. Whose costumes did you like most in the episode, whether that be from our random core cast or like the random people you saw like in the the college hallways? That's how you say, it's like gruel. College, on the college hallways or like around in atmospheres and stuff like that. I have a person, so I was curious if y'all have
Okay, this was the first time I realized that the guy was in drag. There's like a moment, like for some reason I just like didn't notice that, but I mean my favorite, and it just because it's so iconic, is the lobster and the present. Just because I mean, come on, it's so classic.
They're so random. I don't know how they got that guest star role to be in this episode, but I chose the lobster boy too, just because, you know, lobster Courtney, like he's our lobster from Friends and all that. But he just looks so stupid. Like he's in a full-on lobster costume. He even painted his face red, and he's arguing with his damn girlfriend in the hallway who's dressed as a fucking like birthday or Christmas present or something. I'm like, and she's like full-on committed. She's like in a huge ass box. It's not like she like put a bow in her hair like girls would do nowadays and put like, you know,
be like, I'm a gift. Yeah.
No, you're a problem. Did you have anybody that you paid attention to, Courtney?
Yeah, my favorite was Oz's.
I knew it.
Oh yeah, so good.
I love how he shows up.
Just because it's so on brand for him, but like I'm just a sucker for really any kind of sarcasm. That's like my favorite part of any character I've ever loved. That's why Chandler on Friends is literally like my favorite character of all time out of any show ever. But yeah, just that whole moment. And he was just so cash about it. And he was like, God. And he just has like a name tag on that says, hello, my name is God.
That's so odd.
That's it. And there is like no extra effort. And I'm just like, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with the whole thing.
I'm sure just because it's iconic, we can all agree to that Anya's bunny costume is everything.
So iconic.
Yeah.
Like who the fuck puts on a full ass bunny costume and walks around like that, or tries to walk around, because this bitch cannot walk at all in it.
I also love how this episode they took quite a while, and obviously rightfully so, because there was lots to deal with and lots going on, but they took quite a while before they made that moment happen where her costume was actually addressed and someone was finally like, Xander was finally like, what's, you're trying to be scary in that, like,
yeah, because
like,
I thought it was interesting.
Bunny.
He gave her the order to like dress as something. He's like, choose something scary, because it's Halloween, like most people do. But not everybody chooses something scary on Halloween. Some people dress up as a spoon. Like,
it's true.
I'm never.
I was dressed up as nothing, a name tag.
Yeah, every time I've watched this episode with somebody for the first time, because there's been a couple, they always have that same reaction to that moment. Like, I was wondering about the bunny costume. Like, what? Like, and it's so great every time. Perfect.
And what a way to close out the episode, technically, too, with like that being your final little round of statements.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've done enough. Why don't we say we go into the episode?
Let's do it.
Let's. We open in Xander's basement, where he, alongside Willow, Oz, and Buffy, hang out carving pumpkins. Kudos to the shot of the camera peering from like inside the pumpkin while the Halloween-esque music is playing, just to say, again, sad moment, because this is like, you take in, this is our last 90s Halloween that we're having, even though I already said that, that's in my notes. But when you guys carve pumpkins, I'm curious, do you guys go more classic or elaborate with stencils and like different prints and shit?
I've done both.
No, my things be looking jacked up. Like just straight
Well,
up
they're called a
looking.
jack-o'-lantern, Courtney, so.
Exactly, so I'm trying to say
Jacked up o-lantern.
Exactly, that's my version.
Some guy on Twitter recently, I saw he was jacked with a pumpkin, if you know what I'm saying.
Whoa.
Like, what is going on? I was like, boy, what are you doing? That's not what we do with pumpkins. He put one little hole in it, and I was like, oh.
Oh, well, you gotta get innovative
Listen,
sometimes, I
was
guess.
like, wow.
Well, he was very on theme for the holiday.
He
This was
really
back
liked
at Halloween time. You guys do not want to visit my X feed. I'm just saying. we all know.
We got a little
Anyways,
preview just now.
I gotta bring my creepy uncle vibes every single time because I love sex. So we gotta talk about it. Anyways, not physically, just in honorable mention. I say for myself, I'm like Tyler. I have to have like two most times because I love a classic. I have to, like, if I'm gonna put it out on my front porch, I love just the triangle eyes, the weird itched mouth, and just like the normalcy of having the iconic jack-o'-lantern, but occasionally I'll do like a secondary one so that way I can like do a cat on it or like a cool stencil that I find online. But I don't like taking the time to shape. They ever seen the girl on Instagram that like does like Taylor Swift or Beyonce and like spends time carving out pumpkins and then like puts the light behind it with their music, and it shows her carving it for a while and you don't know what she's creating. I mean, unless you read the caption when she posts it, but like you sit and wait and then all of a sudden the music cues in and it's like the person, you know, iconic character and stuff that she's done, like Billie Eilish, which I think you're wearing a Billie Eilish shirt today.
I am.
Hit me harder, soft. All the things, but I have to choose two because I never deviate away from the originality of like the classic pumpkin. You know, not classic, because if you guys go back in the day and time, whenever pumpkins first like started becoming, and they were doing it with squashes and shit, them things look scary as fuck.
Yes, they
If
did.
you've never seen it.
Yes.
Yeah, right. I'm glad you guys know because I didn't have time to like be pulling it up on my phone and sending y'all text messages. Either way, Xander's unimpressed with his carving as Willow and Oz offer humorous critiques, asking Buffy what she thinks while she's just over there playing and sulking, detached as fuck, with the bowl of pumpkin guts.
I was just thinking about the life of a pumpkin. Grow up in the sun, happily entwined with others. Then someone comes along, cuts you open, and rips your guts out.
Okay, and on that happy note,
Buffy is nasty over here. She's frumpy and sad too. Like
Over
just
Parker.
still, I know. And like Courtney texted me and she's like, I'm gonna be pissed with Buffy and irritated if she's just like bothered by Parker this whole episode. So she's like, I'm gonna cut the episode off right now. I was like, no, don't.
He does.
Sucks ass. On that not so happy note, Xander speaks on the scary movie night that they typically would have, I guess, because he's like, our annual night. I'm like, y'all didn't do this last year. Like, is this what y'all started doing last year since we didn't have a Halloween episode? Like, I don't know.
That's why we weren't a part of it.
Right. But he's fucked up the movies and they chat about attending the scary house at the college frat party that they're putting on or whatever, and Willow invites Xander after he starts stressing he wasn't told because, you know, non-college guy. I like when he's stressing that he's got better things to do, and then Willow's like, you can come, and he's like, okay. He doubles back like really quick because he's like, oh, I don't care. He's doing that thing that we all do, like Faith. I've got that big party I've been invited to. I can't come to your Christmas Eve dinner or whatever, and then she shows the fuck up anyways because we know that bitch did not have anything to do. Like, always a holiday bringing bitches in. So it's official. They are going to the college party, and Buffy is leaving as she collects her stuff to head out because she's tired, quote unquote. No, she wants to go home and mope. The gang call her sad after she's leave. Like, they literally are like, that bitch is a miserella. Even her pumpkin, who remains a freak with no face, as Oz calls out her post-Parker depression. Because anybody that doesn't remember, you're like, oh yeah, Parker. Because they don't voice it until right now. We just know that Buffy's being mopey, but we know why Buffy's moping. We know why she knows why we know, you know, all the knows. Xander questioning if anyone else wants to smack him for bailing on the buff, and we all collectively raise our fucking hands. Because they in the room do, but we also on, you know, behind the screen go, what Tyler said 4 times this episode so far, fuck Parker.
Fuck Parker.
Out on Main Street, Buffy walks towards home when a teen in a mask jumps out to spook her, only she reacts the way any Slayer and right-minded person would in this town, with a backhand to the face.
That part I'm always like, you legitimately scared her. Like, you not you deserved it, but I'm like
no, he deserved it.
He like really jumps out and scares her.
Did you hear what I said, everybody? She reacts the way any right-minded person would in this town. People
in
know.
General.
People know. Like, there ain't no way y'all don't know. As much the whole high school got blown up because of a big snake. Everyone heard about that. The fuck you still got audacity to put on a Halloween mask and think it's gonna be fun? No. He probably
but
walked off
I would have that reaction in my own street, even on Halloween, fully anticipating everyone is dressed up in a costume. But if you're gonna jump out of like a bush or from around the corner or whatever, right in front of me, and I'm not expecting it, I can't help what my reflex is.
Which is
and
going
it's
to
probably
be
to punch you in the face.
Yeah, especially after watching Buffy my whole life. I'm a Slayer. Come on, let's
you
go.
better be glad I didn't have my steak in my pocket.
I ain't got no time to be one of these little white girls that falls down on the floor screaming and hollering, "Oh my god, I have to done it for myself!"
No,
like no,
hell no.
You guys look at me. Like, that's what they always do. Like, no, Buffy is the blonde bitch that's gonna punch you in the fucking face. Dead.
You better be glad she didn't just pull out her crossbow.
Honestly,
and this is where the episode starts to turn unhinged. Literally, though, like a steak, like listen, this is the moment that like she should have had that Faith had, like where she, stakes first, ask questions later. Like not that she should have staked. I'm just saying, like, at least Buffy hit with her fist and her reflexes versus wiping out a stake and staking this motherfucker. Homeboy, wild. Either way, the teen falls back and removes his mask. And he's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you, lady?" And Buffy quietly ponders as she walks off. Like, that's exactly what she's been wondering herself, because she's not good enough for people. Blah blah blah. We fade to black and cue the Buffy theme. Heading into the cafe for lunch, Buffy and Willow chat at the school about how Willow's finally got the basics of witchcraft down, levitation, charms, glamours, none of which involved ruined bed sheets finally. But she's a little weary of the next level, which is conjuring she's heading into. Buffy commenting, if she doesn't feel comfy yet, don't do it.
Don't do it? What kind of encouragement is that? This is an encouragement talk. I thought I would share my pain.
Buffy fashion moment. I love this floral off the shoulder top with the choker. She's finally got her hair clipped up. Like we kind of see a lot this season where like you can tell they put a little ponytail low and then clipped up and it just like hangs down over the clip. Like I love that. That's how I wear my hair at work a lot of times when I'm massaging people. And people are always like, "Oh my God, your hair looks so 90s." I was like, "Thanks. It's Buffy summer chic." But she looks good like this. She does it somewhat in season 5 as well. Like she looks so hot right here. I'm just like, she's got like a nice glow with a tan. Like all the things are happening. Willow, oh God, this is like a tongue twister. Willow will know when her limit's reached with magic, not wine coolers, as Oz appears joking about not encouraging her and how he left supportive boyfriend guy behind because he's worried about Willow's safety relating to powers that she can't control, because he relates, obviously, being a werewolf and all. He understands, but ultimately is down for anything that Willow wants to do. Love that. We love a supportive boyfriend. Like Oz is still to this day the beacon of the perfect boyfriend so far. Buffy comments on Oz being a sweetie as we hear Parker and his friends laughing from a table nearby, and Buffy, catching a glimpse of him, decides to bail on being hungry. Willow trying to talk her down, but she's happy in the land of not coping. I get this. Like I'm tired of the Parker stuff too, but I get it. Like you, like whether you slept with a guy and he was shitty to you, like you have it'd be like me seeing an old friend or something across the way that I can't go talk to or something like that, and seeing that they're having a fun life or running into an ex and like they seem so happy and you're not at a place where maybe you're so happy in life and you're like, fuck my life, I'm just gonna like leave the situation or not eat this restaurant because they're also sitting in here. Like it just creates this weird tension. So I get her bailing on this, but also Buffy, just go sit down and eat your ham sandwich.
No, it's true. I mean, she's like, last time this happened where like she woke up and the guy wasn't there anymore, he was like evil, so it was like pretty easy to be like, oh, I'm like mad and I don't have to like be around. But this is like, it's the first time she's dealing with like he was yes evil, but not in the same sense where he's like a totally different person, so I extend her some grace. However, get the fuck over it, bitch. You're better than that.
Yeah. Like I said, sympathize, but also crush the shit.
Yeah, come on, girl.
Exactly.
I agree. Willow reminds her of the fun that they will have at the party, and Buffy suggests not going and patrolling instead. Even though Halloween is not the night for that, Buffy notes that she will check with Giles, who will encourage active Slayer duty, because after all, he doesn't care about Halloween. Cutscene transition magic to Giles opening his door with a highly enthused,
Hello, Buffy.
Oh my God.
It's a sombrero.
Like he never gets that full sentence out. I'll say it again later, but holding his big bowl of candy and wearing a Spanish-themed costume, sombrero included, Buffy is stunned and confused since he dislikes Halloween. He mentions how he's never mentioned such things, and in the past, Watcher's duty really took precedence, but this year, he's fully able to embrace Halloween's charms. This is like the cutest moment, like him going over to that little Frankenstein like we were talking about a minute ago. It's like hanging too from his scene. Like he took the time to decorate his whole fucking home, like down to everything. I make a comment later, but I'm going to bring it up now. Like even his little lamp that you like on his desk, Courtney, the green one with like like a whole vibe. He's even got like spider webs cascading down that and stuff like that. He's intricate this year, but I like it's burned into my mind for like moments for Giles of him just flipping the switch on that little thing.
Look. It's alive. See how he shakes. Is there something you wanted?
Buffy's not into it, and he like cuts it off like unenthused because he's like, damn, she's not like on board with my like bullshit. Like Buffy, hype him up. That's what a good friend would do. Like, come on, because we know they're basically friends at this point. They have a different dynamic now this year. So cute though. Anyways, Buffy asks about patrol, and Giles deters her from having to patrol, her bringing up Ethan Rain and the costumes that caught them off guard last time, him claiming that was anomalous, aka unexpected. That's our vocabulary lesson today. If you guys do not know what anomalous means, it means unexpected. And reminding this really isn't the night, offering her a sweet little treat from his candy bowl before she dips. Y'all know Buffy took a Reese's. She's being a bitch, but she took that Reese's. I saw her. Like, it was right there on the top. She got the licorice stick. Like, I know she took one of the little pixie tubes of powder dust or whatever the fuck. What are the fucking things called? Oh my God. I'm blanking. I saw it in the bowl.
Pixie
stick. I said pixie dust. Like, what is this, Tinkerbell?
Pixie tubes, you said.
The
Pixie tube.
Anyways, I don't eat candy like that, so I don't really know. It's usually chocolate over anything. Cutting us over to Murder House, which I'm gonna annoy y'all with the whole episode, aka the home that was used in American Horror Story season 1. Don't know if y'all noticed this, but this is the iconic house that's in Los Angeles that they featured in American Horror Story season 1, amongst other shows and things like that too. It's been featured. But right now on Buffy, it's the set of the college frat home and venue for our Halloween party. 2 of our frat dudes, Josh and Edward, inside discuss how the sound system is jacked. Edward suggests contacting Oz to come help so that their sound system is booming. Josh commenting, how else will women fall into their arms all helpless if the Halloween scaries aren't loud and scary? Because after all, Halloween isn't about thrills and chills and funny costumes. It's about getting laid. Here for that, but also not. It really is. Like, if you don't have, like, I mean, obviously, let's dip into the world. Like 2016, I remember going to a Halloween party with Josh, and he looked so hot. Like, he wore this like shirtless outfit, because obviously all gays have to show their nipples. Sometimes the girls too. You never know. But like, iconically, a gay guy's got to like have pants on but no top, and like usually something that's almost like leather daddy vibes, but not so much. The whole thing. But like the whole night, I literally was like, I can't wait to get you home to fuck you. I didn't care about anything we were doing, the drinking, the Halloween, and I love Halloween. We were out on Halloween all of the night. I was literally just like, okay, tonight's about getting laid. So I felt this for the moment, but I also kind of cringed when he said this, and I wrote my notes. I was like, okay, what is this, American Pie 1?
No.
Truly.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I was on the fence, but you know, like I said, getting into it and thinking about it, I'm like, oh, kind of. Like, it's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
Before Ed heads off to call Oz, he shows Josh a picture of a mystical symbol he found in some book that he thinks would be perfect to paint in the attic where the main party will take place. These two chuckle at the coolness, but that eerie tone shifts in music, literally letting us know all hell. Like, this is some bullshit. Because like, it's the first time we kind of like hear the score too, and I like the music. Like, it's very deep and bellowing. It's like, I don't know, you literally just feel like something ominous is about to happen with it.
Check this out.
Mm-hmm.
Over at Xander's, he is about to head out, turning to find Anya standing there, who apparently still has not got this whole knocking on doors thing down. He even like comments on it. She notes though that peppermint smelling Uncle Rory let her in. Long time since we heard Uncle Rory's name dropped. I feel like it was back in season 2 somewhere, but still a thing. I keep bringing it up so that way Courtney really knows who Uncle Rory is at some point. We're going to go further. He clarifies the man loves his schnapps because that's why he smells like pepper, because his parents are alcoholics / his uncle. It extends into the family, everyone but Xander, except in real life. That's my one joke for Nicholas today. Rest in peace, boo. And he questions why Anya is there. Like Parker, he hasn't called, she claims, and he reminds her she said that she was over him. Her clarifying she only said that because that's what she thought he wanted to hear. Xander tells us some bullshit about how he tends to accept things people say at face value. I put my notes so quick. I said, okay, skirt. Hold on. When exactly have you displayed that to us in the past, Xander Harris? Because I cannot recall a single time that you didn't argue every little thing brought up to you. Like,
that's true.
Xander needs to be the epitome of the phrase say less, not say more, because usually say more is like, he's not the say less person. He's like, okay, say more. Like, somebody says something, like, he's the first one being like, she ate. Like, boys, sit the fuck down. Thankfully, Anya claims that's fucking stupid, and lucky for her, he walks towards her, noting seeing her isn't falling in the realm of bad, and she smiles, which I love this little moment, because he's like, last time he was so not really against, she kind of forced herself on him without like having to full on. He was down for it. Obviously, he was down to clown. He's like, it's not Halloween, but this night's about getting laid. The little innocent smile that she gets after he says that, like, I don't know, you're just like, ooh, something's brewing here. Like they're becoming something, whatever. Yeah. And then basically this episode, they kind of go on their first date that she mentioned, because he's like, that's how things usually progress. So it seems like Xander is interested in progressing this. This being the week anniversary of them copulating, which again, vocabulary lesson, that means having sexual intercourse for those of you who don't know what copulation means.
Oh, thank you so much.
Interlocking. She thought that she thought that they could hang. He brings up the plans with Buffy, Willow, and Oz that she doesn't understand. Not about Halloween, but about why he continues to hang out with them since they don't match up anymore. Him, triggered by it, asks to change the subject, stating friends are friends forever, essentially. He invites her to the party as his date, since there are definitely date-like qualities at work here, and he tells her to get a costume before heading out.
Costume?
Dress up. You know, something scary.
Scary. Scary how?
Anya, you, ex-demon, terrorized mankind for centuries. I'm sure you'll come up with something.
I went on a whole tangent like afterwards, shortly. Rewatching this, I do like noticing how Anya, the blunt, tactless person, is kind of giving Xander this whole moment where he's realizing like he doesn't fit in the group. It's kind of like the preemptive cursor to him being like, oh, I'm invisible. I don't really get along with the gang anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She kind of plants the seed, where I guess I more so should say roots it for Xander on that growing fear of being forgotten by his friends and shit and being left out, whatever. But Xander makes a good point, and something I thought to point out. Just because like friends move on to new things without you, it doesn't mean that you can't continue to be friends or grow together. And Anya clearly doesn't understand that type of stuff or how it works. You know, we saw that last episode. She doesn't get social dynamics or things like that. But she's also kind of like a person like to, like I said, be a voice of recognition here and being like, you don't get along with those people, like, or you can't relate to them in certain ways or whatever. And I was like, I see both sides of it, but like I'm glad that Xander kind of shuts it down. And I don't remember his full long quote, but it's like a true testament to how dynamics really can work, because even though there'd be like time and distance or whatever in between your existing friendships, a real friendship is coming back together no matter what and picking up like right where you left off, or having that ability to do so, even if that means navigating in a new way how you relate to them and figure out like how you can fit into their new life, especially if they've changed or they show up differently, especially when you go off to college and maybe they come back for their first visit. And I think this is something worth pointing out, because that's what happens in real life whenever friends, you know, disappear for a while. Like even like my friend Alexis living up in New York, I don't get to see her as regularly, and so much goes on in that span of time. You know, before we did the podcast, Courtney, there'd be like little links of time before we actually physically saw each other, and we've got so much to catch up on, which is great because it gives us a lot to talk about. But we don't come back together and be like, should we not be friends anymore? You know, you know, like, and some people I think probably do that, and that's fair and valid, because I mean, there's probably those instances where like you change so much, like me with some people, like I can't get back to you and go hang out in Sumter and all you want to talk about is drama and everything going on. I'm like, they're like, well, what's going on in your life that's dramatic? And I'm like, nothing. Everyone's great and positive. I don't have anything like that going. I can't relate to you. But if you want to talk about something else and then they have nothing else to talk about, and that's where you kind of like start to step back and fall away from friendships in that way.
Yeah, without trying to be like too cheesy as you're explaining that, I'm like, yeah, it's interesting, because like Anya, like being like ex-demon, kind of like in this like magical supernatural realm, right? And it's like not being able to understand those human things. It's like that's the magic of like being human, like little things like that you can't explain, of like holding on to like those relationships and things, which I think is kind of cute.
Yeah, and it's just not that black and white, you know, with relationship dynamics. And there are people just said where like in this case she's referencing that as similarities, I guess, like in the physical realm of things, because he's solely not in college. But I'm like, that doesn't change like the years of friendship they've had leading up to this point. And it's just this first chapter they're experiencing themselves on how to navigate with him not really in the equation as far as school is concerned. But it's such a minimal thing, you know, like I don't know that I've ever, that would be like if Brandon went off to college when we were that age and I didn't, I could never see that as a reason unless he turned into a completely different person over time. But I'm like, how long have y'all been in college for? 5 minutes? And Anya's like, you need to listen.
She wants him all herself.
I was gonna say, I'm also so happy that it doesn't go, because like when the conversation starts, it could very easily be like, why do you hang out with them, in terms of like you had feelings for them and like as a woman jealous. I love
and like a jealousy
I love that it's
thing.
not that at all. I think it's very cool. Yeah.
But it could be, because I'm like, well, is she kind of showing a sign of codependency there? Because obviously, like, she's been coming off real strong up until now. So it wouldn't surprise me if she's like, I'm going to ruin your friendship. So
is she aware? Remind me. I don't know if they ever address it though. Does she know that like Xander had a crush on Buffy for a little while up until
no.
Okay.
And that there's like
I don't
history
think
with
she knows
Willow.
until like later on, because like if
Okay.
that's something that kind of spoken in a future episode. I think you can get what I'm doing right here. Like if you think about shapes, like specifically, I'm glad we had that whole moment. I was thinking about that the whole time, because sometimes I'll say something and bring something up and it doesn't really go somewhere, but you guys fed off of that so well and it created an interesting conversation around that. So I appreciate that. It was very relative to what I wanted to speak on too. So y'all had some good stuff to come back with. Buffy walks into Professor Walsh's office, or class, not office. This is an office. It's a whole ass classroom. Asking for today's assignment since she's missed class due to personal reasons. I'm like, Buffy, now you're not going to class because of fucking Parker? Like, girl, like you're fucking up your college like degree you're trying to get now because of some boy that's a fuck boy that ain't even worth being a boy? Like, what? No, annoying. Anyways, tangent. Not really a tangent, more like a rant, like a call out. Like we're just gonna leave it there. I'm gonna put FP in my notes from now on, just randomly. Like 5 seasons from now, when Parker's not even here, I'm just gonna put FP.
Parker.
Professor Walsh calls her out on being there now and not appearing harmed and is uninterested, grabbing her things to exit, noting how if Buffy misses another class due to some bullshit like her in this moment, she's getting the fuck out of there. Riley calls out to Buffy that she means that. He also claims he's noticed her work's taken a downturn lately, wondering if freshman year's getting to her too much fun or not enough. She identifies with both as he hands her the assignment Walsh wouldn't supply. She states that she'll get it done tonight, him deterring her from that since it's Halloween.
Tonight. It's Halloween. Well, you're not going to dress up and go party?
I have a lot of work to do.
I may be out of line here, and it's not really my business, but you seem like the kind of person who makes things really hard on themselves. Halloween isn't a night for responsibility. It's when the ghosts and goblins come out.
That's actually a misnomer.
Well, I didn't mean real ones. But hey, there's some good scary fun to be had on campus tonight.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Well, I am going to sit here and grade papers.
Scary.
Very.
Well, thanks for the pep talk, Coach.
Don't make fun. I worked long and hard to get this pompous.
No, I mean it.
You're welcome.
This is a kind moment, and you can tell Riley is a genuine man who kind of sees things. You know, obviously he's a psych major. He is the TA to the professor of psych for this college institute, but I feel like he did a really good thing here, and I appreciate that because Buffy needed this. And even though she didn't get sympathy from like, you know, someone who like literally handles human emotion and psychology and things like that, like should read this situation, maybe like it's not Professor Walsh's job for sure to coddle her students, as she says, you know what I mean? Or because then she'd have to do that for everyone or excuse everyone for being out of class for like whatever the reason. And she definitely does body language wise look at Buffy and be like, well, you're not wearing 8 band-aids. You're not missing an arm. Like there's not any indication that you're physically upset. And she can also read probably her like stance and stuff of what she's saying, like personal reasons, like, girl, you got your period. You couldn't come to class because you couldn't plug it up, or like what you're like, are you having really bad cramps today? Not to say that it's an issue. That's just the first thing I could think of, a girl being like personal issues while I'm not going to class. Or because otherwise if you came in and be like, I had a death, I would have lied. My mom.
You would have
lied. I don't know. I probably wouldn't have. I don't know. But either way, Riley saves the moment. I really like this because as you're watching, as like an outside perspective, I could see this interesting little thing happen. And I really liked how Buffy acts it really well, but how Buffy kind of looks at him and says that she appreciates what he said, because you can tell that she kind of took that in. And there's just this little exchange that you just feel like, what's happening? What's going on? You know, I'm just going to put that there, but it's a nice little interaction to have. Back at Murder House, a man named Chaz paints the symbol on the floor as Xander and Oz brings in speakers and other equipment, giving thanks for the supplies, or getting thanks. I think they get thanks because they can't give thanks. They get thanks. Oz says in this moment too, he's like, mi casio es su casio, a play on that Spanish phrase like mi casa es su casa. And I thought that was fun. I caught it for the first time and I was like, oh my God, I love music. I was in band and like stuff all through school. I usually get off to like scores and stuff even to this day for like movies or like, I don't know, symphonies and shit like that. Like you could find me in my house like listening to Mozart. Not the one from last episode for Angel, because that one's not the vibe. That fucking you've seen In the Dark, right? Like
yes,
the second, like that fucking dude Marcus, that's the vampire that like is a pedophile and obsessed with children, and like he's playing while he's torturing Angel, he's playing like Mozart's Final Symphony like over and over and over again as like a speaking about psychological thrillers, I just had to take you there for a moment because I was like, maybe it doesn't land, but now it full circle. But I like how he references the electronics company like Casio, like, you know, famous pianos and like other instruments and stuff, because this is something a band person would totally say, or somebody that's just in the music atmosphere. So I really like that the writers put this in here for Oz to specifically say, and like it's a fun play on words, like so cute. Xander points out the interesting design, wondering what it means, and the guy starts to explain his, I don't know, but about other stuff that he read in the book. Like, this is the part that kind of annoyed me, because it's like, yeah, there was also a lot of other stuff in there about, and like, of course, the show deviates completely past that. He could have said, like, raising a demon and, like, talking about Gatnar and blah, blah, blah. And any common sense person, especially Xander and Oz, would have been like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, can we look at this book real quick? We done had some issues in the past.
True.
This is giving Ethan Rain. Was this book written by Ethan Rain?
This is giving Ethan.
Literally, though, that's what I thought. Either way, like...
But are these... I actually never thought about this. Do we know... Were these kids in high school with them? Or do you think that they came from outside Sunnydale to go to college?
Probably a mix, but they clearly are, because of what they call Xander in a second, being like, oh, a townie. Like, maybe we should...
Oh, they do call him a townie. Okay, good.
So maybe they've been in college, since this is a... They're saying this is a big thing that they do every year. They're probably like... approaching their senior year, or like some good juniors or something, or if they're in the longer stint, maybe taking 6 to 8 year classes. They've been at college for 3 or 4 years, so it's become like a thing, you know?
Right. I was gonna say I was trying to extend the branch of being like, oh, maybe they don't know and they're not familiar with the Sunnydale shenanigans, but actually, if they're seniors, just dumb boys.
It's an olive branch, and those are typically pretty thin, so it snaps really quick. But if you need some olives, I've got a whole jar of them in the fridge. I had to get an Easy A reference in here somewhere. That just came out of nowhere. Thanks for that. Nice setup.
You're welcome.
Because we needed the Easy A reference. The whole thing deviates, though, unfortunately, because of fucking Xander. Because when the guy's trying to read out the book, Xander goes, ooh, grapes! Because they're sitting over in a bowl nearby. And since his parents don't feed him at home, this is his food and sustenance for the day. He goes over and starts eating them shit. Joke's on him because like they're peeled, and he like calls that out. And Josh informs them like they're for women's hands while blindfolded, so they can tell them that it's squishy eyeballs. Okay, concept. Like, but Xander, he's still over there eating the damn grapes too. They're room temp. It's like the room temperature milk all over again. We got room temperature fucking grapes. Grapes are best when they're put in the freezer for 10 minutes before eating, or out the fridge.
Oh,
who the fuck is? I mean, sometimes, like, but only for like 10 minutes. Like I said, they taste really nice chill. I like a cold grape. Like, now if I'm on a party or I have a charcuterie board or something like that, I like them as a palate cleanser or whatever. Like, it's a nice refresh. But if that party's been going on for 6 hours and there's still grapes over there on the table, I'm probably going to deviate from eating the grapes. Like, they're not they're not nasty or like going bad by that point. I just really like the cold pop that you get. They're soft and gooey, like a weird texture. Like, not that I'm put off by taste aversion, like in that way for sensory issues, not at all. I'll mix all kinds of shit up in my mouth. It's all gonna get chewed up anyways. But the fact that he's eating room temperature grapes just really skews me out. I'm sorry, guys. I'm about to cry over this issue. I need y'all to get on board with my fucking room. Y'all are like, you don't like grapes like that? Oh, fuck.
Well, it is really
I think anything room temperature is not it. Like even my coffee,
unless it's meant to be room temperature.
I have to reheat my coffee 1,000 times because I'm like, I can't.
Same.
I want to see the deleted scene of who they put in the room to like peel every single. Have you ever tried to peel?
I know. How did they do that?
With
it's
meticulous
really
little like skin. They use the things that you use for like, you know, whenever you do a Cricut thing and you're trying, they have the little extra tools that help you pinch and pull the letters off of stuff so you can scoop them.
Yes.
That's what they use to peel the grapes. Xander also gets exposed as a townie, and they joke about not letting him come to the party. I love how he all takes offense. He's like, hey, standing right here, which is fun because like next part talking in front of him like he's not even there, you know, kind of foreshadowing some of the themes that come up later again. As Oz completes getting the sound system set up, and it's loud as fuck because as soon as he cues it on, it's booming. That's what they wanted. Perfect. Except Oz needs to tweak a wire and cut himself accidentally, shaking out his hand and splattering a little blood onto the symbol as he passes over it. The floor rippling out metaphysical waves of energy that go unnoticed, along with a fake prop spider turning into a real tarantula and then scurrying away. This is that oh fuck moment.
I was literally just like, of course his blood goes right into the symbol. Why would it not go right into the symbol? Like,
You know how deep you got to cut yourself to flick your hand
That,
and
and
blood
I'm
fly off of
like,
it?
where are you
If you prick
going?
yourself, like,
Why are you walking all around the floor with a bleeding hand? Just stay put where you are.
yeah, put it in your
Can you
shirt.
just hold it and say, "Can someone who lives in this house and knows where everything is get me a fucking rag and a napkin or something?" You know what I mean? I don't know, a Band-Aid. And he's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna go moseying around the whole entire room, bleed fucking pouring blood all over the floor."
Literally though. Literally. He's like, ooh, a symbol. This would be the perfect place to put this
It was
blood.
just too much. I was like, yes, exactly, in the dead center of the symbol out of
Listen.
all the places.
I'm sure in real life, because obviously for context, they have to put the little metaphysical waves to let us know
Yes.
that something enchanting is kind of happening and taking place. In real life, that probably wouldn't happen, but the actual result would probably still occur. But I was like, nobody
said
saw
the
that fucking
same
spider on the
thing.
floor turn into a real spider and start
I
walking
said
across
the
the fucking damn
same thing.
floor. Like, what? Like, even if you were like, oh, like you didn't even see it morph, you just see a spider. You're like, oh fuck, there's a spider in here. Where the fuck that come from? Like, how we got a tarantula in here? I mean, I know Sunnydale. That's probably, we're close to the desert. Like, it's applicable here. Like, it can happen. But no, like once a time, like these people in Sunnydale are deeply stupid.
Yes, they are.
They could have caught it beforehand, but not really, because now the whole night's about to be fucked up. Gagnar says, when the sun goes down, bitch, I'm turning up. Because it's still daylight right now. This is his little
He's
like breadcrumb
pre-gaming.
into the whole thing. We flash over to the Summers home. We find Buffy with Joyce as she's letting down the hem on Buffy's old Red Riding Hood costume cape that she wore as a little girl 5 or 6 years ago. I like this callback because this kind of gives Helpless whenever Buffy had the Little Red Riding Hood like kind of red jacket on, and I talked about Little Red Riding Hood. This is the visitation or revisitation to that energy, because Sarah on Becoming Buffy did like this whole analysis over the themes of Red Riding Hood coming up over and over again for Buffy over the series. I'll have to plug it one day, or maybe when we get to the final episodes talking about that, I can bring it up. I think there might be something else out there that deals with that. But in general, like Buffy in that episode is helpless and susceptible to something happening. So now that she's returning to this, I mean, you think about the story of Little Red Riding Hood. She goes into the woods and some bullshit happens to her. Like, it's not good things. And this is kind of what's going to happen in the episode. So I thought that was interesting that they brought that back. They reminisce on her father taking Buffy out trick-or-treating, and Buffy annoyed at 12 that she couldn't go alone. The convo exposing this happened so he could get the candy to bring back for Joyce, but you know, but Joyce has to note like that was not the case. The candy was for her, and how her dad loved spending time with her. Buffy's very discouraged in that fact, claiming not enough, I guess. This also exposing Buffy's current trauma being reinforced by thoughts of male abandonment issues and perhapsing it'd be easier not letting anyone in long term. Joyce going on to give her some insight.
I thought it might be easier. You must have noticed that I'm not exactly the social butterfly that I was when I was with your dad. I don't think I made a single new friend the year we moved to Sunnydale. Why not? Fear. I didn't believe I could trust anyone again. It's taken time and a lot of effort, but I've got a nice circle of friends now. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still a little gun shy. It certainly didn't help that my last boyfriend turned out to be a homicidal robot. I will always be here for you. And you've got Mr. Giles and your friends. Believe me, nothing to be afraid of.
I love this whole moment. This is everything. We haven't seen Joyce since her moment in The Freshman when Buffy came home to visit. So it's been a few episodes since we've even seen Christine Sutherland on the show. And it's little moments and portals that she gets put in here. She's not in bigger spanned episodes, like really honestly throughout this season in general. And this is a nice little way to bring her in, but I really like enjoy this small moment between her and Buffy because we also get this little bit of insight into like what Joyce was experiencing when she first came to town and relating to Buffy, because she like takes her on a whole walk through memory lane of being like, you know, whenever she's like not letting Buffy take in this whole like the way you feel after someone lets you down shit, aka basically a man. And I love the fact that she voices like she was feeling alone when they moved to Sunnydale and she didn't make any friends the whole first year. Like we haven't got that kind of insight into Joyce, you know, before, not really. And I know it's not much, but it's a little bit, which actually helps to further her character a tiny little bit. Let us know how she was feeling this whole time, because we saw how Buffy was feeling. So I thought that was cool. But I also like how Joyce doubles down and brings up, she's like, that doesn't help. Like my dating realm didn't help, like, you know, moving here. And I'm kind of opened up to friends, but not so much to people because my last boyfriend turned out to be a homicidal robot. Like she brings up Ted, which I thought was cute. I was like, oh shit, like, which is relative. It's a fun little callback. But overall, the way that Joyce responds to like fear in this episode and actually brings it up, the fact that, you know, she brings up the fear theme and brings that to the forefront about overcoming fear, and the like message that she gives to Buffy. I love when you come back to watch it again, you see Joyce is like the voice telling you what you need to know ahead of time, even if it's in hindsight that you notice later. You know, don't let your fears get you down, you can overcome them. And then she also reminds Buffy like she's always there for her, as is Mr. Giles, as is her friends, and that there's nothing to be afraid of. You know, like it's a message within the message within this cute little moment from her mom. And it's always like your mom telling you the things you need to hear sometimes, or those pep talks and stuff. But she got like a pep talk from Riley, now she's getting one from her mom, you know, moments later. So like Buffy's got support. So I don't know why later on in the episode she's so like centered around abandonment and alone, and like really feeding into that. I know the fears help, like the demon itself helps amplify that, sure, but Buffy, you see, you should open your eyes, not that you do see, you should open your eyes and see that you have a full support system to help you with what you're navigating right now, you know?
I know, you wish you could just reach into her brain and tell her. And bouncing off of that, I love in season 4 in general, like the just the themes of going to college and feeling like dynamic shift, like yourself and how you relate to people in the world, and how like you get a little bit more of Joyce, you get a little bit more of Giles, these like adult characters that have kind of had this like adult verse, not a verse, but like adult wall up when you're like a child, and seeing things like that, I think is done really, really well, particularly there with Joyce talking about that.
Which is interesting because like we're still dealing with adolescents on the show. They're still on the road to adulthood. They're not there yet. They're just fresh out of high school. They're not quite adults. They're young adults, if anything. So absolutely relative. I get what you just said there. That's awesome.
Yep.
I see the other kitty moseying around the house now.
He's up to no good right now.
You're double trouble, boys. All right, cutscene transition magic though, because like I think it's interesting. Like there's nothing to be afraid of, and then we cut to nighttime in Sunnydale where that phrase might not be the case. Costumed people parade the town with toilet. He's like, I'll be right back. With toilet papering and Tom-ass foolery before we find Buffy chatting with Oz on the phone about forcing fun upon her, and she wraps up getting changed into her costume. I like how she brings up like axe murdering Parker if he shows up. Like this shit's fucked up. I didn't even realize Tyler still had his headset on.
Oh, I could still hear all of it.
That's the good part about having a cord and your kitchen being right there beside you. He's awesome. Like, I gotta top off this cough.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. I love it. And I love that you could still hear me because I thought Courtney was just listening to me.
Nope, I can hear you.
Okay, let's see, where was I? Axe murder Parker, all the things, which we need to, because you know, remember guys, fuck Parker. She heads out, passing by that couple with the guy dressed full head to toe lobster, pleading with like how he wasn't looking at some other girl, and his girlfriend is dressed as a fucking present, as we said earlier. Like the whole conversation, like bitch, you ain't got no audacity to be coming at your man to my, I know you were flirting with her, bitch, I'm dressed as a lobster, she don't want me, you barely do. That's
okay. And also, does anybody have the thought, I was like okay, like regarding the episode where they all turned into their costumes, would she just like turn into an immovable box?
Oh my god! I didn't think about that.
Well, I was actually thinking about this while I was watching the episode, because I looked at TJ and I was like, TJ, what costume would you be if you went to this party? And he like wasn't as whimsical as I was about it. And then I was like, actually, going off of that, one year I dressed as grapes. Would I have just turned into grapes? So I was thinking about like, would he have just been a lobster? Oh my god, horrifying.
No, you would have turned into peeled grapes, and some bitch would have come up and put her hand in the bowl and be like, "Oh my god, it's eyeball."
Body temperature, just for you.
No. What did you come up with him in the night? Like, what was his lame costume that you were like, "Bitch, no," and then this is mine? Like, what?
Oh my god, I actually don't. I literally was like, I would lead into like the frat of it, and I would have done like a Greek, you know, like when you were like the sheet. I would have just gone like full frat boy energy with it.
He would have been like Delta Zeta cock.
Yeah.
Delta Zeta fuck my ass. Like
literally. Yeah, and then TJ's would have been, you know, a little sarcastic like Oz. Like he was like, I would have done like an Oz outfit. So
I love this.
Oh God, could
I
you
can see this.
imagine if you turned
Yeah,
into
that's what I'm
God?
saying. I was like, oh my, like, okay, like I know that Oz's joke. Yeah,
Blasphemy,
crazy.
blasphemy. You guys are blasphemous. I'm not taking this. You cannot be talking about our Lord and Savior in the episode. You guys know I'm one step away from the
no.
Holier Than Thou podcast, and this is not going to run on my channel.
Oh my God.
Tyler's like, what? Tyler, go listen to our coverage of it, whatever angel episode. I started doing that.
I can't even
It's one of the
remember when
angel
that got
episodes
brought
we've
up
covered.
the first time.
Wild.
I will check it out. I haven't listened to any of the angel ones yet. I gotta get to it. Okay.
I do have to fuck around and find out with the whole like the box thing, seeing that she turned into a present. I also then need to know what's inside the what present did she turn into? Is she like, what is she? You know what I mean? When you open that, what is she? If you open the box and rip the package, whenever she turns back into a thing, is her body all ripped up shreds?
I was gonna say, is it just her skin? Like, it's horrifying to think about.
I don't know. But then also,
you take the lid off and it's like you're decapitating her.
You better hope that one of these college. Thank you. I'm muting myself the whole time I was talking about that. This is why Taylor. He's going to probably supply our Buffy fun facts later and cut me off of everything I've said.
I'm sorry.
Yep. No, not even. I'm sorry. We're totally like playing with you in the best way right now. We love it. We're here for it. Always do this, never change. Be this, Tyler, because he eats. Anyways, point about eating actually helps me segue into what I was about to say. This guy turns into a real lobster and he's on the floor. You better hope that one of these fucking freshmen or like sophomore students that's walking through these halls don't really have an affinity for seafood, because they picking you up and taking you down the hall. And you know, these students be having the one burner in their bedroom so they can boil their ramen and shit like that, or the microwave. That motherfucker is going in the microwave.
And don't forget that just 2 years ago, everybody turned into their costumes. So in theory, a few of these people might have been around. And like, I would have been traumatized for life because everybody remembers being their costumes. This is the shit I think about. Oh
yeah, true. I didn't even think about that. Damn.
Yeah, like they all remember.
But they need to be like Xander if they remember. And maybe these students that we saw in the hallways and stuff like that weren't a part, like you were saying, of the school, or they're fresh to town, so they don't know what's going on. And all the people that do probably do. But at the same time, like I had something else I was going for that, but then it just fell out of my head. I don't remember anymore.
That's fine.
Yeah, I know, right? Anyways, moving along. Over at Murder House, we see the party in full swing as Josh has a girl doing his grape eyeball trick. Only she removes the blindfold when he's like, oh, Rachel, it's eyebrows. I'm looking at Courtney too hard. It's eyeballs. And she's like, ew, this is icky. And then she actually picks it up and you see she's holding fucking eyeballs, like with the whole stem cord behind it, like the cornea, everything is attached. And but also like, this bitch does the right thing and screams out in fear, because honestly, you might as well be eating eyeballs if you're eating room temperature peeled grapes. They both look stunned, especially home dude Josh, because he's like,
I know, that's
like,
crazy.
what the fuck? That was not there 2 seconds ago. And this is where everybody realized their night's about to go to shit. Out in the street, Buffy stands in her costume, holding her basket, looking like the cutest little thing in the world. Xander coming up behind her, asking what's in there. And I like specifically how he asks is very like me, like with the creepy uncle vibes. What you got in the basket, little girl? I love it. Buffy confirms though immediately, weapons. And he's like, oh. And then she goes, just in case. Very smart. Like, she got a little mini crossbow up in there, like probably some stakes and shit. Like, Buffy is like, I ain't fucking around. She's like, because who am I going to turn into? Little Red Riding Hood? No, I'm just in a simple costume. Like, I'm like, I don't know, Buffy. Hopefully, but listen, at the end of the day, Little Red Riding Hood she cooked, but she kicked ass in that story because she defeats the wolf, does she not? Like, he eats the grandmother and shit. She rips his belly open and cuts him and her and the huntsman out. So we got it. That's the cat. Listen. He's just giving us his take. He's agreeing with what I was saying about the weapons. He says, yes, I have a crossbow too. Anyways,
he's not afraid to use it.
Oh, this is actually sparking what I was saying about the costumes. These people in the hallways and stuff, if they were in Sunnydale before, they need to have like Xander's theory right here in our next moment, where he's like in the tux and he's like, I'm going for James Bond secret agent guy vibes. Can you imagine if this time he comes back from being turned into his costume and now he's like got military knowledge and he's also fucking James Bond low-key? Like, okay, now you're actually useful to the group because you'll be able to fight even if it's with guns and shit. Like, James Bond whoop your ass up. I'm right here. I love how I had that little pause. I'm gonna put the now like sound or whatever from James Bond. Um, but that's what the people that have been in Sunnydale that were here to experience that back in the day, they should be thinking about this every year moving forward. Like, remember that one time we turned into our costumes? Well, maybe this year I'll go as like fucking a gladiator or fucking a Valkyrie, or you know what I mean? So you can Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so you can whoop some fucking Xena.
Yes. Although last time he didn't really make it out all that bad. I mean, he turned into like a soldier, so like
Yeah.
I like how Xander points out, he's like, I wanted to be infinitely cooler if I
Yeah.
got turned into my costume. And Ball Buster Buffy noting, like, unless you become cool head waiter guy because you're wearing a fucking tux. They approach and come up to Willow and Oz, who is dressed as Joan of Arc in medieval metallic garments, which, to call back to her quote earlier, she's like, I'm late for battle, to the drag queen in the hallway. I was like, okay, this is a cute little costume. And we find out that she's relating to this since she was almost burned at the stake, which is a callback to Gingerbread, where they were almost burned at the stake. And plus Joan having that close relationship to God. Yes, the Lord. Them looking over to Oz, who appears normal in his everyday attire, but then moving his shirt over to the side to show a name tag displaying the word God. As everyone knows, and as Courtney said, we eat this shit up. He ate. I've been doing this a lot lately. I've been acting like these little young kids, trying to act like I'm 26. They moved down to, no, they don't move down to anyways. They moved down the street together, cutting, nope, not that either. Getting cut off for a moment of our resident military patrolmen, because like they just come out the fucking bushes, very stealthy. And Xander informs the group in this moment too that he's invited Anya to join them later at the party. And Buffy calls out how it's perfect. She can be like, what she called her third wheel Buffy, and then this motherfucker gonna be like, well, actually, you'd be a fifth wheel. I'm like, oh fuck. But she has to call out, everyone has a date but her. She's dateless. Willow switching spots with Xander, I thought was cute, because she pulls Xander back from making that fifth wheel comment and like walks by her best friend to like gal pal with her. She's left her boyfriend to be support and encourages that they're gonna have a good time. I love that moment. But I also like how we still have the little fucking tread of these damn military men coming out, and Buffy's like, nice costumes. This is the one night they can blend in, versus on campus when they're just walking around all willy-nilly, zapping vampires like ice agents and shit. Like, literally crazy. Willow's like, we're gonna have the best time, as we cutscene transition magic over to the inside of the attic of Murder House, where everyone is screaming, frantic, and running around in terror, 1000% not at all having the best time.
I love that.
It's like, wow,
sequence.
like it's fucking crazy. We're like, oh shit, stuff's popping off. Like inside, also John runs down the halls in this little sequence and falls down the stairs and breaks his neck. Us hearing a scary ass demonic voice from the ether saying, release me. Because that's what it sounds like. I know, right? You can do the next one because there's like 14,000 of them. The sequence is cool with everybody in the house, and I like it because it's all chaotic, frantic. He falls and breaks his neck. You hear the release me stuff, and you still hear the screams and horrors and shrieks going on. But then you cut to outside while the gang are arriving, and it's just calm and quiet looking, like there's nothing. Like they've arrived to Murder House. Like that's the vibe it gives from outside instead of the other one. Oz commenting, let the horrors begin, opening the door for everyone. They start the maze, passing by all the decor and making their way through. Willow being spooked by cobwebs. She's like, those things look real. She's like, that's unsanitary. I'm like, bitch, that's decor. What the fuck you at? Like, we're not in a bando with Courtney walking through a spider web. The fuck? But also, I'm curious if the cobwebs, because they did look a bit realistic, I'm curious if the cobwebs have already shifted in the house to be literal spider webs. Like they ain't got spiders crawling around in them, but I'm curious if it's not just the decor, it's actually like real spun web now, because it looked like it. Xander shitting his pants. I mean, being the spirit when that prop skeleton also like zips out from the fucking wall. I love how they rigged it up to like jump scare you coming out the fucking wall. I love how like emulating this on the screen for you guys. Like everything that I'm doing, very expressive. But like I thought it was funny because the first thing you see whenever it's just hanging there after it swings its knife, it took me back to the hand comment you made, Courtney, back whenever we were doing the puppet show, because the knife is just like stuck to his hand like the Barbie doll. Like his hand's like this and the knife's like hanging off of it, like it's not gripping it or anything, it's just like there. I don't know, I low-key want to walk by and just see this little thing come out from the wall because it's just a cool effect. They clearly do take the time to decor this house the way that they should.
I was gonna
to
say
have
that's
this kind
how
of
you know
moment, like
that's how you know it's a fictional show. Like it's so organized and well put together and theatrical for a frat house. I was like, yeah,
unless you're good. He's like, he's waiting for me to.
I was like, you had a thought.
I did. Not really a big one, but I was just like, unless it's which is still orchestrated. Like if you go to a haunted house thing, or like one of those things out in Bishopville, like for us here around here, like Creepy Hollows or Screamakers, where you go on a haunted hayride and then like go through a scary house that they have a bunch of people working for them, where they put it all together for like a month before Halloween and then do it for the whole month. That's the only time you see that stuff. If you go to some random person's Halloween party, they have decor up, yes, but nothing that does something this cool. Like if anything, like I
especially a
said,
frat house, you know what I mean?
they don't take the time. But these
No.
people do, because they want to scare them bitches, so they leaping over into their fucking arms so they can be like, oh shit, I'm sorry I grabbed your pussy. Like, anyways, the spider from earlier, alive, appears on Willow's back, and she catches the Wiggins quick as Oz swipes it off of her and it disappears. Buffy suggesting they make it up to the party now. Making their way, they grow confused as it seems to be an endless hallway, and Oz confused because this is not where it's supposed to lead them. Buffy assessing a pool of real blood on the floor. I don't know why Buffy decided to put her hand in it and then bring it up to her nose and sniff it, but she's giving Angel. I guess she learned this from him, because she's like, it's real blood. I mean, I guess if you think it's fake blood, but I ain't trying to get fake blood all over my fingers. Like, you got a white outfit on, bitch. What are you gonna do? Wipe it on your red coat? That's the only way you get. Anyways, they hear noises above the group and they look up. Real bats then flutter down onto them, like scurry off, leaving behind the rubbery ones that we find are like the little props. Buffy cluing in on something being wrong here. Xander tries to write it off as a neat trick, as now this time the demonic voice cues in more aggressively and louder. Release me. Xander noting, or it might be something else. I like the pause with that, because he's like, oh, it's fine, I'm sure it's nothing. And then that comes in, he's like, oh, fuck. Like, no, this is scary.
I know, but that's such an unfair element, because like even as a viewer, you're kind of like, what part of this is the haunted house and what part of it is not, you know? So I'm like, if you were there in real time, I feel like because your natural reflex is to convince yourself that like some weird shit is not actually happening. So I feel like if I was there, it'd take me a long time. I'd be like, oh my God, what the fuck's going on? Like, were those real bats? Were those rubber bats? What's that sound?
How'd they do
Is that the sound system? Where's Oz?
That's why it pays to be these people, because they hear that and they're like, that ain't the sound system. That is not part of it. That is not on their CD player.
No.
Outside of Murder House, we find a pair of fuzzy white fur feet as the camera pans from them to a full embodied bunny costume wearing Anya, or as Courtney would say, Ajna.
That was a typo.
I didn't even say Ajna, it said Anja. And I was like, are you trying to write ganja?
Like
Courtney was typing, she's like, Anya's killing me or something like that. But literally, clearly. But her autocorrect changed, I guess, the spelling of Anya, because she never typed Anya in her phone before.
It changed it to a J.
Like whenever it did it, I was like, are we trying to talk about the third eye chakra? I was like, what's happening here? And then she's like, all right, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, I get what you meant though. Gotta say, like I said kind of earlier, I wrote my notes here though. She looks fucking adorable. This is so cute. It's giving Chandler being from Halloween, where he's the Velveteen, like they're like the Velveteen bunny rabbit. He's like, never bunny costume, always. What's the opposite one that he was supposed to dress? They're like, go with whatchamacallit, so. Batman or something like that. Or he's like always the opposite version of anything but bunny costume. And he like stomps his feet and eats a fucking carrot. Yeah. I even sent you that gif because that's the first thing that came up when I typed in rabbit. Yeah, in my notes it specifically says it's giving Chandler being at Halloween but make it female. I can assure you guys though, the Velveteen Rabbit is not one of Anya's favorite books. The whole thing from Friends. Again, if you know, you know. All right, she can't find a door to enter, stepping out front of the home to witness a girl banging on the window inside, screaming at her, before the bricks move magically in on themselves, making the window disappear entirely, calling out Xander's name as she rushes off. And by rushes, I mean waddles off, because we can tell that she can't fucking walk in this costume. I really like the effect that they did here with the girl in the window. I mean, it's still CGI, like it's still I wouldn't say overly crappy, but I like the idea of instead of the window vanishing from nowhere, the bricks close in on it, like they're physically getting trapped inside the house. There's no way out kind of vibe really hits here. I'm like, but I thought that was awesome. Just even the shot of the girl screaming in there and then her getting boarded up, like are we like, oh fuck, I can't help her, and she's screaming for help too. It's just like, it's a slap in the face, but it's also cool. Inside, the gang make their way back to the entrance, only there's no door that they can find now, and the stairs are also no longer there. Oz moving over to clip the cord, playing the music, and haunted screams as Buffy thanks the Lord for doing that. Get it? Because Oz is gone right now, because she goes, thank the Lord, and like he's physically the Lord. She didn't mean it that way. She was just saying it, but it's a fun play for us to say, oh, she's like talking to Oz for doing that, thanking him, and he is right now currently the Lord. I love it. Willow's wiggins grow more intense as Xander voices hearing something, only no one seems to hear him, and he's calling Buffy out on that. I like that, because he's like, do you guys hear a weird sound, like a hissing? And Buffy's like, do you guys hear a and he's like, I'm pretty sure I covered that with hissing. Like, but this is the moment too, they play this moment off well, because we don't realize that they don't see Xander anymore. Or they're starting not to, whether it's Buffy or however, whatever. Xander's already invisible to them at this point. Buffy finds the sound source, and it's Chaz crying, telling them about something being alive over there in the closet. Us seeing the skeleton prop that attacked Xander actually turn into a creepy, decaying skeleton with a real knife in hand. And at this point, I can see, Tyler, why that scared the fuck out of you, because the actual little prop itself is like cheesy and like looks like it wouldn't do shit. This thing, on the other hand, is just by looks terrifying. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but whenever it starts walking up behind Buffy, I don't know if someone's just jiggling the legs to make the skeleton walk or something, but I then lost all amount of fear that I would have over this skeleton when I saw it walking. It's like that thing from Scary Movie 2, whenever she's like, hey, what you run from Callista Flockhart? That's skin and bones, Cindy. Like, you know, let that thing mutilate her white ass and leave. Like, it's giving that, because that's what I saw, but also cheesier. I was like, okay, hold on, I gotta go back down to my notes because I don't remember where I was at the fucking script, but like that's all like what that reminds me of. She demands to know what's alive and what's going on here as the skeleton moves in, stabbing Buffy in the shoulder like she's Laurie Strode or some shit, because it gets her right in the side, like from behind. I'm like, okay, Halloween play. She kicks it back to the floor and it lays there lifeless, back to its original state as the prop. Like I said, this is exactly what I would have done if that skeleton was walking up. Like, by the time she kicks it and stuff, I'm like, it's a fucking thing of bones. Like, you guys, it's not gonna get you. I know it's got that knife, that's a problem, but you get the knife out of its hand, what is it doing then? Gnawing on you with its teeth? No. They assess Buffy's minor wound as a wound as a woman screams from elsewhere in the home. Chaz backing away into the closet again. Oz calling out cowering in a closet seems to be reasonable, except the gang look back after Buffy calls out what closet, because it's no longer there. Kind of fucked up. I want to know what happened to Chaz. He's probably up in the attic now, like freaking the fuck out, but that door disappeared. So now we also still know something crazy is going on, because we're seeing all this stuff happening. Doors are disappearing. Like, there's no more door to the front exit or entrance anymore. Buffy grabs her weapons basket and retrieves a mini crossbow, suggesting that they split up to find a way out as she heads up to find and protect the partygoers. Willow not wanting to leave Buffy behind, Buffy claiming they need to get out so they can get the person who can actually make sense of what's happening. Cutscene transition magic over to Giles' home, and he's fucking up that bowl of candy. Like, as soon as I saw him, I didn't remember like what he was doing whenever we get back to like have this whole moment, but he's just like kicked back, eating the fucking candy at the bowl. It seems like he's not getting any trick-or-treaters or something, because as soon as like he hears the knock at the door, he gets excited to get up. He's like, oh, trick-or-treaters. And again, he opens the door and he's like, happy hot. And he literally gets the HALLL, and he can't have his moment to say happy Halloween, because when he swings the door open, he finds Anya there, who has honestly finally learned to knock, which is great. She remembers the last time she came over to Giles, she's like, oh, she probably tried the doorknob and it was locked, and she was like, oh shit, now I gotta knock. That's how I'm gonna play it in my head. She frantically burst in, freaking out about how he's got to do something. Xander's trapped. Giles asking, well, where's Buffy and the others? And Anya just goes,
oh, they're trapped too, but we've got to save Xander.
It's so good.
It's so good. I'm like, she don't give a fuck about the others. As we learned earlier in the basement,
She's like really
so
doubling
funny.
down.
She's
on
like,
it.
oh yeah, she's like them and a lot of other people are trapped as well, but we're here to focus on Xander because he's my problem. It's cute, but it's also kind of fucked up. He asks for clarification on what's occurring, and Anya gives him the story about the house, what she's witnessed, and he starts pondering reality distortion and temporal fluxes, grabbing some books and supplies together as Anya stands there agitated and antsy. Like the whole time he's doing it, she's like literally like she doesn't quit moving. Even later when he's outside the house with her, she's still kind of fumbling and moving around like, are we getting in there to get Xander yet? Like, come on. Like, I'm like, girl, take your Adderall and come fuck down. You need a shot? Like, they got shots inside, like probably actual gunshots because it's here, but you know, like Giles assures her not to worry about Xander. He's amongst friends. Is he though?
Yeah, right.
Back at Murder House, Willow and Buffy are clearly arguing about Tyler's hyping me up every time I say it. Buffy and Willow are clearly arguing about her issue with Buffy's orders, but also apparently how Buffy shut down her wanting to use magic to help, calling Willow's spells 50-50 and not always reliable, especially since this involves conjuring, what she's talking about, something that she was timid over earlier. Willow, irritated, storms off because she's not Buffy's sidekick, and Oz following after her. This whole moment irritates the fuck out of me, like on a multitude of levels, because here's where I think Willow's fears about not being good enough magically are taking hold, because we got those presented to us as foreshadow earlier when she's like, oh, I'm moving into this next level. I'm less confident. I don't feel like I can like perform conjuring. It's not as seemingly easy as all these basic core things. And now she's projecting her own insecurity about not being able to keep up with Buffy, because I think that's in comparison, because the fact she calls out this whole sidekick thing, I'm like, you're awesome because you're a witch. We saw her stake that vampire with the pencil in Choices whenever Faith had her all locked up in the room and stuff like that. So she's clearly made a useful application of magic, and also other ways, like throughout the last year, especially, that she's been practicing to find useful ways to help Buffy with her witchcraft. And I feel like right now she's kind of like on that mark where she's like wants to be kind of equal to Buffy versus is just a sidekick. So I think she projects some of that right here. And I know it's fear oriented, but it also comes from like possibility of real issues. But you are a sidekick. You just are, you're in a perfect position to be next to the Slayer, because she's still the Slayer. It is what it is. Like, but at least you come through a little bit. Like, you're better than like the werewolf who can't control who he's going to be fighting and biting whenever he wolfs out. Xander can't do shit except show up and get knocked down immediately, whatever. But in a situation like this, Buffy is the one in charge. She was correct in telling Willow, I can't do my job while worrying about your safety and also trying to save everyone else in this house. And she physically says, it's not your decision. Willow does. And then Buffy's like, I got to disagree with you there. And then they like combat a little bit more. I'm like, Buffy is first in command, Willow. Like, sorry about it. You are the sidekick. So like in a situation like this where the Slayer has to take precedence, you got to do this. You just got to settle for being Robin right now. Like, that's Batman. I know Angel's Batman right now on his show, but like Buffy's Batman on this show. Whole thing. But I was like, it was interesting to like kind of like dissect that a little bit and be like dipping into Willow's, because obviously we're learning about everybody's fears and insecurities that's going on. And I was like, it's clearly driven from like that, but like, because I don't think she had a problem with Buffy. That's like unspoken. You know what I mean? I think just the fears coming out and Buffy telling her no. Willow's like the type of person, and we'll talk about it more a little bit in themes and metaphor, but Willow's like the person that doesn't like to get told no or she can't do something, I do believe. And that's why she starts to combat with Buffy in this way, because she really wants to do this spell. She's always encouraged to want to do magic, even if it might not turn out right. And Buffy again was right, talking about your spell basics. Even she wasn't even talking about conjuring. She said your basic spells are about 50-50. Which is we've seen is true. She's talking about fire out of ice, like which next time I won't do on the bedspread. Like there's always repercussions for some of your stuff. We saw what's happened in the past with some of your witchcraft, Willow, that didn't go as well as it needed to go to plan, you know? Either way, rant over, but that's what I felt about that moment.
No, I agree.
Buffy, Buffy looks around, grabbing her weapon again as Xander is trying to save the energy and produce some of Joyce's positive vibes to be flowing. Buffy calling out his name, asking where he's gone off to. He's standing right beside you, Buffy. Like, okay. She calls this typical of him, wandering off down the hall, calling out his name, him hollering out to her, taking notice that she can't actually hear him or see him, and him growing in worry, following after. But the shot before he follows after, like, it's almost like tunnel voice, like when he's like, Buffy, I'm right here. And like he's like, hello, like it almost sounds like a weird echo when we get that pan out with the camera kind of as backing away from Xander and lengthening up the space that he's in before he starts to follow after. I really like that shot whenever it happens. Like, I don't know, something about it. The cinematography right there is just really played well. It's great. And like, honestly, like I feel like if I were in the room with somebody and I was supposed to pretend they're invisible or that I was blind, I would not be able to do that. Like they'd be waving their hand in front of my face. I'd be like, Like, like nope. Just
Yeah.
as an actor or actress standpoint.
That sequence too, this time when I was rewatching it, because TJ was like next to me, I turned to him and I go, "Oh my god!" I was like, I don't know if I've mentioned this when I've been on with you guys, but like the music in Buffy is so good, and that sequence in particular is like so good. Just like the fact that it's an orchestra, it like they don't use a lot of like poppy conducted sort of pieces, and like that in particular, like the build up with that moment and the shot and everything is just like, that's what I love about Buffy.
Exactly. Listen, doesn't he sound like me right now when I'm always gassing up the music? Like I'm always talking about the fight scenes and how it pairs and stuff. Like, yeah, so I love it.
Like, what other show uses an oboe so frequently? I don't know.
If you guys don't know what an oboe is, it's almost like a clarinet, but it has this teeny little stick up on the top of it where you put your mouth and you blow it into it lightly, and it makes a lighter version of sound versus a clarinet. I'm just saying. I'll put a picture of it on the podcast. I told you I like majored in music for a really long time. Not in college, just in adolescence. And not very well, because eventually I quit. But either way, elsewhere, Willow is bitching about her issues with Buffy and magic to Oz, eventually finding the stairway.
Look, we found the stairs. Buffy didn't find stairs, no sir.
You guys are thinking clearly.
Like she's like doing that thing where Willow, like I was talking about it in The Harsh Light of Day, where she's like, my boyfriend's gonna beat you up, like talking about harmony and shit. And then she goes, Buffy didn't find the stairs, no siree. So petty. She moves up them, Oz looking down at his hands as he follows after her, and he realizes he started shifting into his werewolf form, calling out to Willow, shifting further in facial features along with his, like, I don't know, he's morphing the fuck out. I'm like I thought it was the Black Power Ranger in here talking about it's morphin' time. Now Oz is over here talking about it's morphin' time. He goes confused, she grows confused. Like she's like, you can't change, it's not a full moon tonight. Okay, yes, but you're in Murder House. That's also Fear House. He asks her to back away from him as she suggests binding him. She's like, oh, I could do this like guiding spell. And he's like, I'm like, Willow, you're doing too much with this magic shit. But he slashes her hand and runs off because like, we know what's about to happen. Willow about to get got. That's what's about to happen because he's going to turn into a wolf and eat her in the hallway. And then like after the spell's reversed, just like we were talking about with the presents and stuff like that, after the Ethan Rain switch, like Willow's dead on the floor. There ain't no coming back from that.
No saving.
After he runs off, she's calling out for him not to leave her. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. That's how that happens. Oz is then next seen in the tub in the bathroom moments later, incessantly repeating the mantra of, you're not going to change, you're not going to change, you're not going to change, you're not going to change. I'm like, boy, you changing. But he's also kind of like, this mantra is working because he hasn't shifted physically past this. So Oz is doing good. Buffy wanders the halls. That's it. That's the rest of it because that's the end of that scene. We find Willow next, sitting to do the spell, conjuring the goddess Aradia to guide the way for her.
Aradia, goddess of the lost. Path is murky. The woods are dense. Darkness pervades. I beseech thee, bring the light.
A small green light appears in front of her like Tinkerbell, and she gives it instruction to lead her to Oz. It starts to do so, and everything would have been awesome right here had she have not started pondering the perception and being like, no, wait, we should probably find the others, find a way out of the house. And then we start seeing that little fucking orb splitting into a bunch of different little ones. And I'm like, oh shit. Eventually attacking her, even though she demands it to stop, but it don't want to listen anymore. And that swarm overtakes her as she runs off down the hallway, swatting them. That was a pretty cool effect. The fact that they turn into like a hive and start like fighting her. I always kind of feel a little skeeved out when they go into her mouth a little bit as well, when she's screaming for like help and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Where she's screaming for Oz, not really for help. That is her help. But I liked how they also did the sequence of her like it backed up what Buffy said about her spells being 50-50. Because I think the house did a little bit of this, but also I think part of this was Willow just doesn't know conjuring yet. Because she wasn't intentional in her spell work. She wasn't secure in what the actual reason for conjuring this thing was. So when she starts going, oh, wait, hold on, maybe we should do this. Oh, no, wait. I mean, if you've seen the Multiverse of Madness movie for Spider-Man or whatever it is, no, that's Doctor Strange. Whatever Spider-Man had, the two other Spider-Mans that came back and stuff. I'm a big MCU fan. But if you watch that movie, whenever Doctor Strange is creating the spell for people to forget who Spider-Man is, he's like, no, wait, hold on. Actually, Aunt May should still remember. And then like this guy should remember, blah, blah. He's like, quit tampering with the spell. And he keeps calling out stuff and then it explodes. And that's what creates the multiverse problems that then happens in the rest of the film. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. That's what I'm saying here happens because she's not clear in her intentions. So then the spell goes awry. Again, backing up Buffy's, your spells are only 50-50 hit or miss. Willow just fucked up her spell. That's not the house actually causing this to happen. Buffy eventually finds a door, busting through it and falling down below into what appears to be a basement area with no stairs. Tyler, I don't know if I can't really say it without saying it, but there's a future episode this same shot and door frame is used for in the Buffy season 5 opener. Exact shot for shot like this. I don't know what this is on set or how they like were able to recreate it and use it and stuff like that, but it's there. Dead Josh appears looking like the bent neck man instead of the bent neck lady, commenting how Buffy is all alone and how people will always leave her that way. It's just scary. Like that makeup they did to his head neck's all jolted to the side and his fucking bones are like out and hanging. And he's even like, the actor himself is kind of like got a little bit more rasp to his voice now than what we heard earlier. So I was like, okay, he turned it out with his little Buffy moment. He's regurgitating her earlier comments to her mother about like feeling alone and such. And he claims, well, here she doesn't have to be alone, as arms burst up from under the dirt, grabbing Buffy as she struggles against the emerging zombies. Helpless. Once again, we found Buffy this way. Outside Murder House, Giles feels around where the door should be, reading through his book and whatnot. Anya's still antsy, waiting for him and like what they're going to do. He suggests they're going to have to create a door. Anya curious if he can do that. Him turning to empty weapons from his bag.
I all said I will gladly surrender myself.
Turning back, revving up a fucking chainsaw that he's brought and cutting at the wall to create a door. If Giles is wielding it, he is infinitely sexier looking than Leatherface, but Giles, if you want to put it on a couple of pieces of leather, not a leather mask, unless we're going for like Murder House vibes, maybe then. But like American Horror Story, you get it if you get it. Rubber Suit Man, whatever his full name is. I'm getting too literal with the statement, but yeah, we would all let Giles monk us up with his chainsaw. Buffy fights off the zombies as Josh taunts her. She manages to escape into the door in the wall, leading her into the attic once closed behind it. Seeing all of the people up there cowering in fear, we notice like everybody's literally just up here. Nothing's really actively happening, but they're kind of all trapped in their own paranoia, fear, and like whatever's happening in their own world. So it's like an illusion that's actually occurring after the initial stuff. We find Oz and they help him snap out of his fear. We see Willow running around like she's being chased by those swarm of things still, and then they help her snap out of it as well. Xander nearby snapping about how they can't hear him and his helpful suggestions. Not that Didn't Go to College Boy has anything important to say. Buffy walking over to him to acknowledge his presence, and he is pleased with this decision that they can see him. I like the commentary. I'm going to save it because it's in my quotes, but like I like the dialogue he's saying here and stuff like that. It's so fucking funny. Me and Courtney were texting about it back and forth. They note the house separated them to play on their fears, and Buffy concludes, but it eventually brought them all here, taking notice to the symbol on the floor and immediately being put off by it. They found the book it was copied from, and Willow notes it's Gaelic and attempts to translate as we hear the demonic voice call out again, "Release me!" over and over with screams. I'm not going to say it over and over again, just the once. We get a history lesson on Gaknar.
The icon's called the Mark of Gaknar. I think this is a summoning spell for something called...
Gaknar?
Yes. Somehow the beginning of the spell must have been triggered. Gaknar's trying to manifest itself to come into being.
How?
It feeds on fear.
They realize they need to get their fears in check so it can't manifest them. I wrote can. Apparently I want everything to continue to go to shit. She suggests getting everyone out as incessant banging starts happening on the doors and walls as the voice chants over and over, "Release me." They turn toward the main door as it's kicked in by a chainsaw wielding Giles stepping through its threshold.
Giles? Hey everyone, it's Giles with a chainsaw.
Anya rushing in to hug him, thankful to see him, also cute. Giles notes the wall closed back up behind them, so I'm like, damn, like you cut a hole and then all of a sudden the fucking door closed back up immediately, but at least he got in. He takes a look at the book and the 𝐶𝐸𝐻 knowledge, voicing they can't allow him to come into being, showing Buffy a picture of 𝐶𝐸𝐻 in the book when she suggests fighting it, and it's terrifying looking, and she doesn't want to be fighting that. Because upon initial look at the photo, 𝐶𝐸𝐻 looks fucking scary. We ain't seen a demon. He looks like some Hellraiser BDSM demon that's probably like 9 foot fucking tall in theory. And Buffy's like, I ain't trying to fuck around with that tonight. Like, we got vampires. Like, I'm good with them. Like, no. Giles starts reading out how to stop the spell in one of 2 ways. While he's mid-sentence saying destroying the symbol, Buffy and her ADHD go over and punch a hole through the symbol with a smile. Please
open the door.
As Giles finishing, destroying the symbol is actually not one of the ways to stop the spell and will bring forth the fear demon itself. You're like, fuck. It's such a fun play because Buffy, I don't even know why. Giles literally should have been like, no. I mean, I guess he didn't know what she was going to go do, but after she punches him, like, God damn it. Here we go again with this bitch. Like, once again, I feel like I'm back in first year of the show and she does not fucking listen to anything I say. Calm down. But also, ADHD would get you fucked up. Buffy should have took her medicine. Buffy's face grows sour as they all watch light emanate from the floor. The demon passing from the floor's baseboards rather dramatically and moans and groans. The way that they do this fucking sequence too, you see the light emanate, they take the camera and put it towards the floor, obviously for reasons that we don't know quite yet, so that way they can show the fucking demon passing through as if it's like this big demon emerging from the fucking floor and shit. But then whenever we actually see the shot, it's just this little demon looking up at the Scoobies, who are much taller than him, looking down at him, and he appears to be 6 inches tall. He's a fucking action figure on the floor. In his now scary little squeaky voice, because before it's, release me, he's like, I am the Dark Lord of Nightmares, the bringer of terror, tremble before me, fear me. That's what he said. But maybe I'll find a way to distort my voice and make it squeakier. Cool. Take 2. Release me. Buffy chuckling to herself as we all are, and Willow giggling. She's like, you just want to put him in a little box and be like, oh, 𝐶𝐸𝐻, like, look at him. And he's like, tremble before me again, because he's like, I'm not having all this. He continues again on his fear demon speech, and Giles notes that when it comes to slaying, Buffy finishing, size doesn't matter. And we know what that pun's there for. 𝐶𝐸𝐻 pointing a finger to Buffy to remind her, they're all going to abandon you, As she looks at him and is like, yeah, picking up her foot, and his body then meets an awful crunch beneath her shoe. Love it. She still gets to slay the demon. Does Buffy save the day? Sort of. This is like the easiest demon she's ever taken out.
Yeah, I love it.
Like 40.
Over at Giles, the gang conclude their night eating all of Giles' candy.
Yeah.
Thank God someone ate the bowl of candy for this motherfucker. He done spent fucking, back in the day, probably $10 on all this candy, whereas today, if you bought that bowl of candy, that shit, I was about to say, it literally cost $47.99. That's crazy that you said 47. Where am I? Willow's about to vom. She's like, I think I ate too much candy. Because Buffy's like, there's no problem that cannot be solved by chocolate. And she goes, I think I'm going to vomit. And she's like, accept that. Buffy is pleased with the end of their evening and problems, as I said, being solved by chocolate. As Xander comments on what Anya considered to be a scary costume. Her admitting to us and him that bunnies frighten her. And here starts the long overrunning gag on that fact.
Yep.
You'll know. You'll find out. We'll see. Giles calling out reading from the book some more on 𝐶𝐸𝐻, saying that he missed this important detail inscripted under the illustration of 𝐶𝐸𝐻. Buffy looking at the photo, asking what it says. Giles walking off, clarifying it translates to actual size. Buffy closes the book. We fade to black, and here endeth the episode. It is a good gag. Like, that's fucked up, because if they had took the 2 seconds, they would have been like, oh, it'll be fine. And then the light emanates, and then Buffy's like, I'm gonna step on it. Gives new meaning to I'm gonna squash this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally. And it's really not that serious, but it is like, it's a little metaphor for your fears and how they're not as big when you actually confront them. And I love it.
You guys, Tyler is eating right now because he just helped me segue right into themes and metaphor. But once again, trying to steal my fucking thunder.
I'm sorry, bitch.
No, just kidding.
I can't help it. I just naturally flow there,
You know that he's feeling this when he throws in that bitch. Now he's like, this is just my role on this show. Tyler's coming to do all of season 5 with us.
I love season 5.
I know. I was there when you told me that.
I love it.
Anyways, what I love is themes and metaphor for this episode, which is quite long. I'm super sorry. The episode is completely centered around fear, metaphorically, the kind that comes with the stage of life that our characters are in now. Season 4 is all about the transition into adulthood. High school's over, the structure they were used to is gone, and suddenly everyone is trying to figure out where they fit in. And that uncertainty is where the fear starts creeping in. The frat house becomes a really good metaphor for that. They walk in expecting a normal college Halloween party, and instead the house literally turns into a maze. Doors disappear, hallways shift around, no one can find their way out. It's disorienting, and that feeling mirrors what early adulthood can actually feel like. You think you know what the path forward looks like, and then suddenly it's not so clear anymore. What's interesting is the demon itself doesn't actually create new fears. It feeds on the fears that are already there and just amplifies what each character is quietly carrying around. Buffy's fear takes shape around abandonment. College already has her feelings off balance, like the rules of her life have suddenly changed and she is not sure yet how she fits into them. After what happened with Parker, that uncertainty presses on an older wound that she carries, the pattern of men leaving her life. Angel, her dad, that history leaves her especially open to the spell's influence because the fear underneath it is not new. It's something that she has been carrying for a long time, and now this is just the refresh version of it. But what is interesting is that Buffy is the first one to push through it. Once the illusion breaks, she remembers something fundamental about herself, that being the Slayer, yes, can be isolating, but most Slayers stand alone whether they want to or not. And that same truth holds true here and reminds her that she's always had the strength to face things on her own when she has to. The fear tries to convince her she has been abandoned, but Buffy reframes it. Even if she were alone, she's still capable of fighting, and that shift is what allows her to move forward while others are trapped inside their fears. Willow's fear is more internal. As everyone starts settling into college life, she can feel the group dynamic shifting, and it makes her question whether she fits in all those changes, kind of similar to Xander. At the same time, her growing relationship with magic challenges the way she's always relied on her intelligence. Willow is used to mastering things through study and logic, but magic doesn't work that way because she can't immediately control it the way that she can academics. It makes her feel incapable and unsure of herself in a way that she's not used to. Xander's fears show up as him becoming invisible, which reflects the insecurity that he doesn't belong in this new college chapter of the group's life, or that he will be forgotten. Oz's fears ties back to the werewolf inside him and the constant possibility that he could lose control of that side of himself and endanger the people that he cares about, or really anyone in general. And outside of the house, murder house, because it's my last chance to say it, Anya and Giles represent another angle of fear. Anya is suddenly confronted with human vulnerability and the possibility of losing Xander, and Giles being stuck outside of the house is kind of symbolic as well. For years, he was the authority figure who guided the Scoobies through these situations. Now they're in college and stepping into adulthood. They're the ones inside facing the danger, while Giles is trapped on the outside looking in. Thematically, the fear demon turns out to be tiny. After the episode builds up this terrifying presence feeding on everyone's fears. When it finally appears, it's small and easily defeated. It's a reminder that fear grows when we feed it. The things we build in our own minds can feel overwhelming, and when we actually face them, they're often a lot smaller than we imagined, and fear has a lot less power when you're not facing it alone. I'm done. I really like that one. That one was one of my longest so far because I had individual people to talk about, but I was like, thematically, this episode is like gorgeous. You know what I mean? When you actually get into subtext and stuff of what's happening and occurring, like when you break it down, if you took a class on this shit, I'm like, there's so much here, even though it's a filler episode.
Oh yeah, again,
that's why I love it so
cyclically
much.
back to the beginning, what I said, like it encapsulates everything that Buffy does really well in like a package. You know, obviously there are other examples of that where there's like the overarching stuff going on, but like this is just like, it's cheeky, it's fun. There's moments where it's very serious. The music is exceptional. Like it's just great.
What else is great is Buffy fun facts. Tyler, do you have any Buffy fun facts that you wrote down
about this one? No.
About this specific episode? Oh my god, are you even, Tyler?
I mean, I could go off if you want me to, but I'll let you take the stage.
I love it. No, because like I always remember where this like joke kind of like started from whenever we were recording like Passion or whatever. But like you came through with fun facts, and I was like, I have this written as my next one, the Ed Sheeran stuff and like other stuff. And I was like, it was so funny. Either way, Gaknar is reminiscent of the wizard in The Wizard of Oz. The wizard pretended to be a great, powerful wizard, in part using, you know, a fake booming voice and all that other stuff. He made false promises and made people fear him, yada, yada, yada. But when his cover was blown, he was just a harmless little man. Giles with the Frankenstein monster doll, when he's like, it's alive. Obviously, that quote is originally from the 1931 movie Frankenstein with Boris Karloff as the monster. This is the 7th and last episode of the series without any vampires. I did not know that fact, but it follows Witch, The Pack, I Robot You Jane, The Puppet Show, Inca Mummy Girl, and Living Conditions to not have a vampire. So apparently every episode moving forward in some way, shape, or form has a vampire in it. So I'm going to be looking for it to see if these people in the Buffy Fun Facts section on Buffy Wikipedia are completely correct.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they are. Like, there's got to be another episode out there with not a vampire, but if that's true, that's interesting.
Me
The
sending you a
external shots
message
of
in
the
like 2 hours being like, this one!
the book Edward Shows Josh is a 1963 edition of the Real Book Picture Museum of Sorcery, Magic, and Alchemy by Emile Grillo de Givry. I don't know, I butcher names. Originally published in 1929, with its duster and interior adapted into the prop used in the series. The actual text in the first book says, a special bus route will open in Dublin today, despite reports that it may cause traffic congestion as a result. That's literally what the book says if you actually read, apparently. Says in the book beside the picture that they clipped in and stuff like that. I was like, bro, because it's on the page neighboring it, and like somebody I guess called that out. They were like, they didn't even edit the page to the left. Like, what the fuck? I'm gonna leave you guys on this Buffy fun fact. Buffy tells Riley that the notion that Halloween is a night when the ghosts and goblins come out that's a misnomer. A misnomer is an inaccurate name or misuse of a name. Vocabulary lesson. And the word she should have used is misconception, not misnomer. So there we have Buffy stupid. But what's not stupid is our final slays.
Final slays.
Final slays, Halloween, Brandon, Tyler, Courtney edition. I don't know. That's how we did that this one. All right, you guys. So I don't steal all of y'all's. Whoever wants to go first can give us your quotes.
My quote, and it's probably one of my favorites in Buffy, and I don't know what it is, and very topical with Nicholas Brendan passing away. I don't remember exactly how he says it, but when Xander's like, we just close our eyes and tell us that it's not real, and that it will stab us to death. And like the way his facial expression pops like a cartoon is just like everything is perfect.
No, I love it.
It's great. I love that. I love that quote.
Yeah, so I have when Oz
was that one of yours
says
too, Courtney? Just out of curiosity.
That was really funny.
Because you texted it to me. It's also one of mine. I'm deleting it right now from my screen, which is okay. That's why I let other people.
Sorry,
that's why you write down.
I can't help it.
Do you have?
And
do you have any other ones?
Where Willow was like, and if Parker shows up, we'll just axe murder him. That's Halloweeny.
Mine were Xander when he asks Oz if he's sensing a disturbance, and he claims the speaker's crackling and whips like out the knife, and Xander concludes, and you think stabbing it is a proper solution? Oz noting the spider web might not be decor since frat boys aren't into cleaning. Like whatever he said around that, I thought was funny. Xander again with the prop skeleton after clearly getting jump scared when he's like, I wasn't scared, I was in the spirit. And Willow talking about, and we'll back you up on that, even if they question us all separately. I especially like that because this is something that I've used in real life. I've carried it through life. If it comes up perfectly in context for this situation, to like for me to say it, like I'll back you up on that, even if they question us separately. I've said that so many times to friends or like people, acquaintances, like workers, like whatever the case may be. I've reframed and used that, just like Cordelia when we were talking about graduation day. Like I'm a wash and a sea of confusion. Like if I'm ever confused, that's the first thing I say. Even if I'm only minorly confused, I'm a wash. I had Anya when Giles asked where Buffy and the others are, and she just goes, "Oh, they're trapped too. You got to worry about them." And then my final one is whenever Xander's there, like bitching up the fact that he's still invisible when they're up in the attic and they're together again. He's like, might as well hang out with my new best friend, Bleeding Dummy Head, because of the head statue that we saw earlier. He's like,
but I wanted to overall
like
it to Giles.
that thing looked terrifying and it started leaking blood. Like they did good on that.
You
prop.
do
Like,
okay, good, because I didn't know that was going to be too random. And people were like, "But why? What did he do?" I'm like, "No, he literally."
Who'd you guys award Shining Slayer to this episode?
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think it was definitely.
Well, Giles came through with the chainsaw. He helped get into the house. Yes. He helped bring clarification around the book, which is like I said, him from metaphor being on the outside looking in. He finally got in and helped everyone like he usually would because he's the brains. On the other side of it, I gave it to Anya for going to
true.
get Giles in the first place because she was there to witness everything that was going on. We are definitely not giving Shining Slayer to Oz or that guy that painted the symbol for show. So
There was a moment though, I was just about to be like, honorable mention to Oz for holding it together in the bathtub for very long. I know that
Mine
it's
was
kind
that
of his
dude you
fault
were
that it
talking about
started, but like
being
he
a
managed to
werewolf.
like not turn into a werewolf for like quite a large amount
Can't.
of time. So
But you can't.
we can pretend that that's part of your Slade.
yeah, sure.
But before we get to there, let's find out what gave you guys the Wiggins this episode.
Oh, I know exactly.
I can see you.
But mine is what's his name? Fucking Josh. Everything about Josh, like I don't know what it is. He's wearing that stupid Rasta wig, which I'm already like is problematic in and of itself, right? But then like him just being like, this is all just to like fuck bitches. And then when he's down in the basement, he's like weird and kind of like predatory when he's like, little girl, why are you struggling? I'm like, what is this? And then
I think something else is controlling him at that point, but yes, you're not
probably,
incorrect.
but also what also is weird about it, and the reason I get the Wiggins is because whenever I watch that episode, I'm always like, and what's
You're
his
like,
deal?
what's wrong with him?
Like, why is he
immediately?
the only one that gets like maybe because he's the only one that actually
It's
dies?
the special. Well, I think he owns the house. I don't know. Oh yeah, I guess that's
Right?
true.
Nobody else
Yeah.
dies in the
He
episode,
he is the only one that
So,
died.
so
yes.
it's one of those
Yeah,
things where like
that's
it gives
weird.
me the Wiggins just because it sends my brain down this spiral of like, okay, how exactly does it work? Yeah, like okay, I understand that like he can possess inanimate objects and it's like fears and stuff, but like was Josh's fear like falling down, like, and then he's like in the pit? It's just strange. It's just all odd to me, but
Yeah. I had a lot I could obviously probably choose from, whether they be decor or like situations, blah, blah, blah. But I had to like go back and double down on last week's problems and Buffy fondling the fucking pumpkin guts for one. You're not even over here having fun carving a fucking pumpkin. You're digging around in the fucking guts while acting like a Miserella. But like due to the fact that she's like still blah over this whole Parker situation, that was what was giving me the Wiggins. I was like, girl, get the fuck over it.
like you had David
Parker was
Boreanaz.
nothing.
You don't need to be upset about Parker. It's fine.
That's why she's upset, because this bullshit. Yeah, she's like, why did I dumb myself down for this? Yes, did not slay. But what did slay is whatever you guys chose that slayed. So what are they?
Well, I was told that mine had to be Oz in the bathtub.
No, you were told that that could be a second up. So what was yours actually?
Actually, now that I think
He's
about
like, I
it,
didn't write one
it's
down.
probably the Oz. I mean, Giles pulling out the chainsaw is pretty like slay worthy. Not only because it's Giles with the chainsaw, but also the bag is so small that he manages to pull it out.
Where did he put
And
that?
also, like, how did he know? And like, that's pretty heavy.
Yeah,
like,
mine
Does
has
Anya
to
not
go
see
I
him
know.
like
Giles
walking down the
for
street
the
like,
chainsaw moment,
can you
because
carry
I'm
this for a
at
minute?
a
Like
moment
apparently
with that. But
Giles is either
also
like at the gym
to
now that he's
Buffy
got all
in
this
two
time.
ways,
He's out here getting
because
buff that he can carry
she
fucking
slayed
chainsaws
when
around
she
in
was
bags
tearing
that
up the
do not
floor,
fit.
even
Yeah.
though it was not for
Those
the
are fine.
reasons she assumed.
What about you,
She
Courtney?
wasn't really like accomplishing. Yeah, she didn't accomplish anything there, but it was still badass. And then to just see her kind of be like, oh, this thing, and just squash it with her foot, like, and that be the end, and you not see that coming, because that was kind of like a plot twist for me. I'm like, for real? That's it? Like, there's no fight, there's no battle, there's no
Punched through
weapon. She
straight
just
fucking
lifts her
wood.
leg up, and that's it. Okay. True. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Nope. But a metaphor within itself of how you can easily deal with fear. Just let it go. So I knew the chainsaw would be no doubt a no duh. Like, so I breezed past that. I looked for a different one, and I landed on two. Our pep talks. Mine is going to Riley and then to Joyce, because he gave Buffy the assignment, even though Professor Walsh refused to feed into her bullshit, and then pep talked Buffy, made her feel better. And then Joyce doubling down, having her little cameo to also come through and resize Buffy's costume was nice. She was taking the time to spend time with her daughter, and then also give her, you know, the relatability version of a pep talk, because she also like puts in like how she split from her father and how connected she is, and also how people care about Buffy still, and she has people there with her. Like that's what I had to give to, was like the pep talkers for this episode. So that's Slade for me. Or no, yeah, that's Slade. Sorry, that's the part we're at. Honorable mention though for Anya embracing fear and wearing the costume that she doesn't like. So
beer, like beer.
All right, Slayer at predictions. Our next episode of Buffy, which will feature Robbie Fox back with us, our lovely Australian man. So
that's random. So is there another?
The next episode is entitled "Beer Bad."
Also.
Like beer is bad.
Clearly, there's drinking taking place. I would hope with a title like that.
Beer bad.
So, is the beer itself bad? Like, is it poison?
Well, what do we do when we go to college?
Or are we drugging people? Is someone getting roofied? Like, that's where I'm.
There's some party taking place, but it ain't a physical party. You will not expect what's coming. Absolutely.
Oh, Jesus. Oh no, Buffy's an alcoholic.
Damn, I don't even know if I have to breadcrumb her a little bit. Like, I will tell you this, just as an infinite like thing that we're seeing going on still, Buffy is still not over Parker. So that being said, what do some people choose to turn to help drown out their problems?
Pep talk.
But in true Sunnydale, Buffy the Vampire Slayer show fashion, is not what you think. It's a hilarious episode. It's funny. It's light in tone. It's not Miserella. It's not her sulking and crying and then being like, oh, hell, we got to give this bitch another fucking intervention. And like, yes, no intervention. We passed pep talks. Like, no. We need to give her some polypeptides so that way her eye bags aren't showing up next day.
It is definitely one episode of Buffy.
One Buffy.
It is definitely one episode of Buffy that exists.
No, I will say it's one of my favorite episodes, like truly. Not like standing out like up with like Becoming and like, you know, other ones, but for like a fun little one and stuff, everyone when they're like, oh, what Buffy episode don't you like? They're like, I ain't watching Beer Bad. I skipped that one. I'm like, no, I'm not skipping it. There are too many funny fucking moments in this episode to skip it. Plus the whole moment that we have in the like middle to end with a certain character and another certain character, like the very ending of the episode.
Oh yeah.
For it. You're gonna love it, and it's gonna be fun to have Robbie. Like when we were recording Go Fish with him, he was like, I gotta come back for a really terrible episode, let me come back for Beer
Bad. Oh my god, that's so funny.
He wants to come back for all the really silly ones, so it'll be funny to see what he comes back as we go through 5, 6, 7. But like he's like our Halloween episodes, because he came for season 2, he didn't do an episode with us in season 3, and he'll be back for an episode in season 4, so I guess he'll be back in somewhere in season 6.
I'm surprised that Go Fish was the one. I mean,
he chose that one because it's awful.
Seen the worst episode of Buffy, I think, but Bad Eggs is my least favorite episode of Buffy in season 2.
Oh wow! So me and Courtney actually had a whole lot of fun recording that episode. Like Al made her a prop egg broke, and like a little pack of eggs and stuff like that. She got this motherfucker right beside her.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
So cute. So that low-key became one of our favorite episodes just from recording.
I love that.
When you
everybody's like, is this the season 2 wrap-up or is this?
I know, sorry. We're here. Season 4.
No,
wait,
okay.
What I will say about Fear itself, especially for you, Courtney, if you ever go back and rewatch Buffy, this is one of my favorite episodes to return to, because there's a lot more that you notice, I think, when you finish. Yeah, when you see like where the show progresses to. I think it's very fun.
Absolutely. I agree. All right, everyone. That's all we have for Fear itself, as I was trying to say. Halloween's over. It's time to get the fuck out of here. But before so, what did you guys think of everyone's Halloween costumes this year? Do we like seeing more of Anya? Do you think the fears each character faced were the perfect choices for them and how they worked through them or didn't? And to be honest, did Giles revving up that chainsaw do something for you like it did for us? Because... girl, let us know. As always, we want to hear everything, so write in, message us, send us your thoughts, all the things. Tyler, we'll see you soon, of course.
Anytime.
It will not be your last time. You'll have to come if you want to do an episode of Angel with us or multiple episodes of Angel. I don't know how much you get off to that series, but I'm extending the invitation for more future free podcast work, so that way you can be like, oh, cool, this bitch doesn't pay me. I'll just keep showing up for 2 hours.
I love it. Please,
I'm just
please,
kidding.
I love it.
I know, same. When we start monetizing, I'm gonna owe you all $5.
Keep it.
Anyways, before we dip, you want to take a second and let everyone know where they can find you and kind of what you got going on right now? I know you're still playing 𝐒𝐞𝐚𝐬𝐬𝐸.
Yes. So I stream, like I said at the beginning, I'm a streamer. I have a YouTube channel as well. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern time.
Brandon.
Right now I'm doing 𝐒𝐞𝐚. When I finish that, I'm going to be doing the Resident Evil series for the first time because I've never played any of them. I've literally never played any Resident Evil.
Oh my god, that's one of my favorite videos. I'm literally, you see how animated I just came. Courtney knows that's one of my fucking favorite games. I'm tuning in for every live stream.
Let me ask
Mondays
you.
are officially off.
Let me ask you, because there's a current debate. Do I do the originals or the remakes? Everybody's saying the remakes
Tyler,
for the stream, but
for the stream, return to them. I would say because it's going to be a progressive amount of time to go through them. And you're probably going to die in some way, shape, or form. I would probably suggest on the first time too, also playing easy mode. So that way you have more bullets, you have less problems with the characters and things like that. In my opinion, having played all of them, my suggestion would be to play maybe like, I don't know, start from the newer remakes. Cause I don't think they haven't remade the first Resident Evil yet. They started with the RE2 remake. Maybe if anything on the first stream, do the original just to kick off Resident Evil, but the Resident Evil from PlayStation is shitty as fuck. I don't like the game style. It's like where you walk sideways to a door and then you click a thing and like all of a sudden it flashes to the next screen, very like Nintendo style. I like actually physically walking up and opening the door myself and navigating through a map. And you don't do that the same way back then. That's what I like about the remakes. They reversed it. So maybe play through the original, and then maybe when you get to the second game, maybe play the remake first, in my opinion. Do whatever you want, but I like I love the remakes. If I had the choice to play any of them now, I'm playing the remakes. They're just infinitely better. Skip Resident Evil 6 because it's the worst game in the fucking world. I'm currently playing Resident Evil Requiem. I have not gotten through much of it because I don't have time to play video games as much, and I also still play Dead by Daylight, but Resident Evil Requiem is a lot of fucking fun. It is the one game out of all of them that has made me like, I'm in my bed playing, I'm kicking my feet like, get the fuck down the hallway, get the fuck down the hallway, get the fuck down the hallway. Like, I'm so terrified, and I've only chosen to play it at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm
I love it.
in the dark.
I'm so excited. Okay, cool. Good to know.
Anyways, okay, that's where you can find Tyler. Tyler is Tyler the Vampire Slayer on all his channels.
All socials, yes.
He will be obviously plugged in the description, so you guys can find him there. Otherwise, Courtney and I will be back next week to talk Angel, so make sure you come hang out with us for that one. And until then, you morons can hang out with your best friend, Bleeding Dummy Head, in the meantime. Yeah.
This is Gaknar?
Big overture. Little show.
I am the Dark Lord of Nightmares, the bringer of terror. Tremble before me. Fear me.
He's so cute.
Tremble.
Who's a little fear demon? Come on. Who's a little fear demon?
Don't
I
talk
bring
to
the
me.
terror.
Why can he hurt me?
No, it's just tacky. Be that as it may,
Bring the fear.
Buffy, when it comes to slaying,
Size doesn't matter? They're all going to abandon you, you know. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Buffy on Revamped. Remember to join us next week for a new episode release as we continue our journey through Sunnydale along with our Scoobies. We would love to hear from you, so share your thoughts. Discuss with us your perspectives on this or previous week's episodes by following us on Instagram and sending us a DM at revamped_rewatch podcast or by emailing us at revampedrewatchpod@gmail.com.
And if you're interested in a world left behind, check out my show, Echoes of Elsewhere, an urban exploration podcast where I uncover the hidden mysteries of forgotten places, interview other explorers, and share with you my tips and tricks of the trade. Subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time,
the Earth is definitely doomed.
This podcast is dedicated to the Buffyverse, to its fans, and my sister, Tiffany Dawn Pearson.